which matter to you.
You are not put here to be a white man's footstool. You are put here to represent the very best in God's word.
Legendary civil rights icon, the Reverend Jesse Jackson in the studio. Reverend Jackson, how are you?
Mr. Sherwin, good morning on this chilly Milwaukee morning.
And I am pleased to have one of the founding members of the Black Panther Party, Chairman Bobby Seale. Mr. Chairman, how are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing just fine, thank you.
To Mr. Eric Holder. Mr. Holder, so good to see you. How are you?
Well, I'm fine, man. How you been? It's been a long time. Haven't seen you for a while.
The Dr. Cornell West. Dr. West, how are you, sir?
My dear brother, you're so kind, you're so generous, man, but I salute you and the work that you were doing there. Doing a magnificent job there in Wisconsin.
Stream live on 1017thetruth.com. Call in with your questions or comments. 833-212-1017. Join us on social media at 1017 The Truth. It may not be what you expect to hear, but I will definitely give you what you need to know. Are you ready for the truth?
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Sherwin Hughes.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Today is Monday, February 24th, 2025. I want you to think about your favorite quick service restaurant, or as it's more colloquially known, fast food. What's your favorite one? So once you have that in your mind, what does it take for a restaurant to be considered good or rated highly? I'm not talking about sit-down restaurants, because that genre of sit-down restaurants is a lot deeper. While there are a lot of fast food restaurants, it's shallower than sit-down restaurants because you don't have mom and pop fast food joints. Fast food joints are usually big, they're franchised, they're corporate, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They also have rules. Like McDonald's, when you're a McDonald's franchisee, here is how McDonald's works. Here's how you train your staff. Here's how we make the fries. Here's how we make the Big Macs or the Little Macs or the Quarter Pounders or the McDoubles or the 2 cheeseburger meal. Here are the rules, and we do it this same way at every McDonald's that you go to. It is this, it's this familiarity of McDonald's. Wherever you go, McDonald's is supposed to taste the same. So it's a lot easier if you have a franchise fast food restaurant that's been in the game for probably 70 years, that has perfected their craft, and then their craft is replicated at restaurants all over the country, you see. So what does it take for a good fast food restaurant? Obviously, you got to have quality food, don't you? You also need some kind of theme or atmosphere. So I'm from a different era than, say, some of my younger counterparts. Back in the day, McDonald's was you could play at McDonald's. They had a playland. People would have birthday parties at McDonald's. Now nobody would do that. So in my mind, McDonald's was a place where children were welcome, where you could literally have a birthday party at McDonald's with cake and ice cream, stuff that no McDonald's even serves anymore, because I think that they eliminated some of those ancillary things because over time it wasn't making the profit that it maybe did back in the day. Burger King, it's got a theme to it. There's an understanding. Have it your way, Burger King will say to you. No, don't have it our way. Have it your way, whatever you want. That's their theme. There also needs to be some kind of ambiance in the restaurant itself, even though it is extremely rare for people to go inside a fast food restaurant, order at the counter, and sit down in the establishment. Now, it does still happen, but I can remember in my lifetime where if you were going to Taco Bell for lunch or for dinner, you would go inside and you would sit and have a conversation. It was almost like a social gathering. We treated quick service fast food restaurants back in the day like dining. You would go in there, you would take your time, and don't let them have free refills. Sit there all day and drink Coca-Colas till you had to pee-pee. And then you get some more Coca-Cola, and then what do? You fill up your Coca-Cola, your free refills cup before you leave. So you leave in there with a full glass of soda. Gotta do that. Might not even drink it. That ain't the point. I paid for free refills, so let me see if I can drink them out of house and home. Now, that obviously has changed, and the dining habits of people have changed. Fast food restaurants, quick service restaurants have not gone out of style, but how we utilize them and how they fit into our daily lives right now, a quarter century into the 21st century, is decidedly different. But start thinking about what makes a good fast food restaurant. So I have a list right here, and it's shocking, this list is. And don't worry, this is going to weave its way into the theme and the topic of this show, because I think that Milwaukee parents hate the city of Milwaukee. And I'm going to lead you into that, but I want to start with a much more familiar topic, fast food and restaurants, and what makes a fast food chain popular. Well, one of the things that is measured when it comes to customer satisfaction with fast food restaurants, and believe me when I tell you, there are actually polls and scientific study dedicated to how Americans view quick service and fast food restaurants. And there's a variety of different categories in which these restaurants are judged. The number one restaurant shocked me because of all of the restaurants that are listed. I have probably eaten at all of them. Some of them are not located in the Midwest. There's one in particular that's not nearly as popular in the Midwest as it was, say, in the 80s and the 90s, and that's Hardee's/Carl's Jr. I think they do still have a Hardee's on, like, Layton Avenue.
Yes, they do.
But ain't nobody driving to Layton Avenue. I live on the north side. I ain't driving to Layton Avenue to go down to no damn Hardee's, man.
And that is facts. That's Hardee's is so far. It's not far from me because I live down the street, but every once in a while I take Hardee's, but that's something you just don't eat every day.
Hardee's changed the game back in the 90s. Some of y'all going to remember this. Most of you will not. First non-chicken fast food restaurant to offer fried chicken. And I remember Hardee's fried chicken being better than any other fried chicken that was available. I think this might even, I don't want to say it predates Popeyes. It predates all of the Popeyes that we have right now. At that time, there were more Hardee's than there were Popeyes. But Hardee's fried chicken was just top notch. And then, of course, they got rid of it. In fact, do y'all remember the chicken mascot? Hardee's had, somebody would wear a damn yellow suit, and they would be in parades. They would sometimes hang out at different Hardee's restaurants. It literally was a person that wore a damn yellow chicken suit. And how do I know and how do I remember that? Because somebody I went to high school with was the Hardee's chicken. In fact, I knew two people that were the Hardee's chicken. Like, this was their job. They were paid to put on a yellow chicken suit. How degrading. One of the people I went to high school with, the other one, this is real embarrassing, was my high school friend's mother. His mama was the chicken in the Hardee's chicken suit. Can you imagine that? But it was a part of the promotion. Here's what's crazy. Somebody wearing the Hardee's chicken suit to promote a fast food restaurant serving fried chicken, it worked, because here I am 30 plus years later. Not only do I remember the chicken suit, I remember who the damn chickens were. Customers of popular fast food empires have been less than impressed with some of the restaurant chains' drive-through wait times. So I'm going to go into some detail about this very important category. People will rate drive-through wait times as more significant than even the quality of the food, which is crazy. If people wait too long in the drive-through, they're going to rate that restaurant lower, even if the food is potentially worth it. People do not like to wait. But I also think that this might lend itself to why we sit down in fast food restaurants less, because everybody is in a hurry. Have you guys noticed that? What happened that the world is in so much more of a hurry right now? We got to have stuff immediately. You got to have it right now. The moment you think of something, oh, I need this, I need to go buy this, you go right to Amazon. Or if you're hungry right now, I'm going to go to DoorDash and order something off of DoorDash or the Grubhub or the Uber Eats. What caused us all to be so rushed? I remember a time when everything was more leisurely. Like, oh, I've got some things to do. I'll get to that by Wednesday. Oh, I'll have those things accomplished by the weekend. We are so incredibly rushed. And I wonder if this rushed nature of things now is contributing to some of the health issues that we have with the high blood pressures and the heart attacks and all of the strokes and all of the things. What's the rush? Life isn't short. I don't know where that adage came from. Life is very, very long, and sometimes it takes forever. Don't believe me? You want to know how long life really is? Marry the wrong person and watch time go backwards. Be at a job that you hate. Punch in at your job that you hate and watch that clock tick slowly. You can't wait till 5 o'clock. So you punch in at the job that you hate. You punch in at 9:01, so you're a minute late. Man, you just hate the job. You hate the coworkers. You hate the management. You even hate the tasks that you do. You just hate it. And you say, you know what? I'm going to try and get through this day. It's Monday. I'm going to get through. I'm 11 minutes on the job. I'm not going to look at the clock for hours. Next time I look up at the clock, it's going to be lunchtime, and I'm just going to do my work. And then what happens? You get into your groove. You start doing your work. You punched in at 9:01 a.m. at this job that you absolutely hate. It's like one of those jobs where when you leave your house and you say goodbye to your bed, and you're like, at 5 o'clock, I'm going to be back for you. Like you miss your bed already because you're going to go to this job that you hate, and you can't wait to get home. You can't wait for 5 o'clock. That's torturous if you start a job at 9 a.m. and before you even get to work, you can't wait for it to be 5 o'clock. So here's what happens. You get to your job, you punch in at 9:01, you're a minute late, and you're like, I'm going to do this little stupid work, and I'm going to get a bunch of stuff done. I'm not even going to look at the clock. I'm just going to work, and I'm going to look at the clock at around noon, and you start working, and you look at the clock. Remember, you punched in at 9:01, and you start getting into your work, and you're doing your work, and you're answering the emails, and you're doing all the things, and you sneak. You sneak and look at the clock because you know you've been working for hours. You know it's lunchtime. You look at the clock, and it's 9:12. Damn. I hate your job so much. It's common, is it not? And take a break. Come back. Talk about these fast food chains and where you all rate them. And the number one fast food chain is going to blow your mind. It blew my mind. I've only been to this particular fast food chain one time, but y'all love it. You love it more than all of the others. And quite honestly, I think the place sucks. That's why I went there once. In fact, I want to say they messed up my order. And I never went back there ever again because I wasn't ever really a fan of it. But some of y'all, you love it. You rave about it. They're not even open all the time. And they have the longest wait times in all of fast food. But there's one thing in particular that makes you love this particular quick service fast food restaurant. And I want to dig deep onto what that thing is and apply that thing to something else that is monumental here in the city of Milwaukee. I'm going to apply it to education. I know it doesn't make any sense how old Sherwin is going to connect such unrelated things, but only I can connect things that are that unrelated. Quick service fast food restaurants, how we as a public rate them, and the education satisfaction or lack thereof when it comes to MPS and the city of Milwaukee. You're not going to want to miss this. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. Earn Your Leisure is a rising media platform whose main focus is to help get financial tools and information to the black community. Led by co-founders Rashad Balau and Troy Millings, the company is working on special partnerships with schools and other brands to help young people learn more about investing and business. On top of teaching the basics, Earn Your Leisure is pushing for more people of color to start their own businesses, something Millings says is vital to building wealth.
What better way to create more incomes than create a business? If we look at the wealthiest people in the world, they've all created businesses and they've had ownership inside of it. And so, we've seen mom and pop shops inside of our communities, and now it's time to figure out how do we scale, how we create businesses that scale, and how do we create more wealth for not only our families from a generational standpoint, but our communities as a whole. While the number of black-owned businesses has grown over the last few years, they still make up a relatively small share of overall businesses in the country. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Lowe's knows that your deadlines don't change, even when your job does. But with Lowe's Buy Online, Pick Up in Store, we'll help you adjust on the fly. And when you absolutely can't leave the project, we can deliver to your job site as soon as same day. Lowe's knows pros. We help, you save. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes placed by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
What if your business could see beyond what is and into what can be? What if you could create more impact in every decision? What if you had a partner as visionary as you are? With Bank of America, you get access to our trusted experts, real-time insights, and digital tools. So whether you run a local shop or a global enterprise, you're backed by business solutions to make every move matter. What would you like the power to do? Find out how at bankofamerica.com/banking for business. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank sponsor of FIFA World Cup 2026.
Truth Nation, it's your boy Tory Lowe, and I need to let you know the award-winning Tory Lowe Show can now be streamed live on YouTube every day from 1 to 4. I am now bringing all the smoke on YouTube every single weekday. I need you to go to YouTube right now and subscribe to 1017 The Truth and check out the award-winning Tory Lowe Show live every afternoon. Milwaukee Black Talk is now streaming live on YouTube. Now that's powerful.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Reproductive justice, it's a framework, it's a movement, it's a vision for reproductive freedom, it's a right to have a child, it's a right to not have children, and this next part is really as important as the other parts. It's the right to birth and parent our children with dignity, and the right to live and parent our children in safe and healthy environments. So reproductive justice understands the ability of any person to control their destiny is directly related to the conditions of their communities. It looks at the intersections of discrimination in social, political, and economic systems, and it sheds lights on the barriers that these systems produce. And then we, reproductive justice advocates, fight against the barriers that prevent Black people and other people of color from exercising their rights. That's reproductive justice.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
In Touch Insight asked mystery shoppers to place orders at major quick service restaurants or QSR chains nationwide between the hottest time in which people order fast food in America, and that's between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m., and then another one was between 5 a.m. and 7 p.m., which also incorporates those of you that go to fast food restaurants for breakfast. Okay, so 2 time frames. They asked folks like yourself to go to your favorite restaurant and then to pay attention to a couple of things and then rate your experiences, right? So there was one set of data that came from the breakfast crowd through the dinner crowd, and then one from 5 until 7. Those of you had a long day at work, at a job that you hate, you don't have any food at the house, or maybe you don't want to defrost anything. Let me just stop off at a little quick service fast food restaurant and pick something up. So those are the people that we call them shoppers, even though they're diners. We call those shoppers that go to the quick service restaurant between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. All right. The shoppers made over 1,600 drive-through visits, and based on the information provided, In Touch Insight calculated a final tally of which restaurant chains have the longest average drive-through wait times. That, ladies and gentlemen, drive-through wait times rates really, really high when it comes to overall satisfaction of the quick service restaurants, regardless of the theme, the ambiance, the marketing strategy of some of these restaurants. People do not like to wait long because we're always in a hurry. And earlier I was talking about these jobs that you hate. Time moves very, very slowly. For those people that say, oh no, life moves very fast. Life is short. No, it's not. Life takes forever. If you marry the wrong person and if you have a job that you hate, life just ticks on by. You feel every damn second. So I don't know where all of this urgency came from, but here we are. All right. Carl's Jr.'s, which is also Hardee's, are 2 of 3 major quick service restaurant chains that have an average 339-second drive-through time. So that's 5 minutes, right? Because 300 seconds, so 5.5 minutes. Both Carl's Jr. and Hardee's have over 1,000 restaurants in the United States and have managed to help their customers 51 seconds after they approach the drive-thru window. So there's two measurements here. From when you get to the window or when you get to the order board, how long do you wait before they take your order? And then once your order is placed, how long does it take to actually get your food? And apparently Carl's Jr. / Hardee's does very, very well in that regard. But it says, unfortunately, the amount of time it takes for Carl's Jr. and Hardee's employees to serve their customers has slowly increased over the years. But you are helped on average after 51 seconds, and you receive your food by 339 seconds, so about 5 minutes and 39 seconds. All right. In Touch Insights recent data shows that this year's average time at Carl's Jr. and Hardee's restaurants is 288 seconds. That's not bad. This is 2024 data, by the way. It is second slowest service time out of all the restaurant chains featured on the list and 7 seconds higher than the 2023 total. Next is Burger King. Have it your way, they say. Burger King is the second largest fast food hamburger restaurant franchise in the world with a whopping 339-second total based on wait and service times. However, its average service and order taking wait times were lower than Carl's Jr.'s and Hardee's restaurants. It's also an improvement over its 2022 and 2023 averages. Burger King it makes more sense that you would wait longer because it's have it your way. And some of y'all can order some very complicated Whoppers. That's what I always wonder sometimes, because when I'm in the drive-thru, clearly I'm in a hurry. For some reason, don't know where I'm headed, don't know what I have to do. But if I'm in the drive-thru, I want that to be the fastest experience possible. And I get so frustrated with the car ahead of me because I always imagine that they have an extremely difficult or complicated order as to why I am waiting so damn long. And because Burger King allows you to customize your order, that would make sense while the wait times are a little bit longer. The average time it takes for a Burger King employee to help their customer has drastically decreased, going from 96 seconds in 2022 to 69 seconds in 2024. The fast food empire's average service time did decrease in 2023, going from 275 to 271 seconds. The next one is Raising Cane's. I haven't been to Raising Cane's. They have one they probably have several, but the one that I'm most familiar with is on right around over by 124th and Capitol. So my bank is right across the street from Raising Cane's. And every time I have to go to the branch of my bank, the line for Raising Cane's stretches down Capitol Drive. And I've seen the social media influencers that do food reviews. Raising Cane's doesn't even resonate well with food reviewers. I've never seen anyone give Raising Cane's a high review. And all it is chicken tenders. You want a good chicken tender? Let me tell you where you go get a good chicken tender. Dairy Queen. You get you a 6-piece chicken tender meal from Dairy Queen. It's hot, it's fresh, they're crispy, they're flavorful. That's where you can get the best chicken tenders, in my opinion, and I am a chicken tender expert. In Touch Insight added Raising Cane's to their study for the first time in history and described it as, quote, a fast-growing brand from the chicken category. It also has a massive 370-second average total drive-through time for customers looking to place and receive an order. 370 seconds, and all you're getting is some damn chicken tenders and some cane sauce. The brand came in hot and high for average service time, which was 244 seconds. Raising Cane's average wait time was also far from perfect. It clocked in at 126 seconds, the second highest average total time out of all featured quick service chains. Look what we got here. McDonald's. McDonald's is the worldwide fast food empire. It came in as the second slowest average total time customers spend at a drive-thru with 376 seconds. So that's 6 minutes, right? Because 5 minutes is 300 seconds. 6 minutes is 360 seconds. So this is 6 minutes and 17 seconds. However, what appears to be a high number is also a nearly 40-second decrease from its 2023 time. McDonald's average wait and service times also experienced a massive decline compared to InTouch Insight's 2023 results. The company's study indicates McDonald's average time it took for an employee to take an order in 2023 was 122 seconds, and this year, 2024, it chimed in at 104 seconds. The fast food chain's average service time went from 291 seconds in 2023 to 272 seconds this year. So not bad. So here's the one. This is what I simply cannot understand because it defies logic and it defies all other commonsensical metrics. Ladies and gentlemen, it is literally unequivocal. The number one fast food quick service restaurant chain in the country, and second place is way, way far behind. And I got other restaurants on this list, but number one is unequivocally Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A has got, in my opinion now, the food is mid. What's the best thing you can even get from Chick-fil-A? It's the damn chicken sandwich and the chicken. Oh, no, Ricky. There's nothing special about Chick-fil-A. Nothing. Their sauces aren't that special. Their nuggets aren't that special. Their grilled chicken isn't that special. They got other sandwiches with stuff on them. A pimento cheese chicken sandwich, disgusting. There's nothing special about it.
This is a sick Negro.
But the average time, so Chick-fil-A, number one rated restaurant, quick service fast food restaurant, not just in the southeastern Wisconsin area, all over the country. They have the absolute longest wait times of any measured quick service fast food restaurant at 480 seconds. That is, was that 7 minutes? What's the math on that? 5 minutes is 300. That's like 8 minutes. Yes, 8 minutes you're waiting at Chick-fil-A. And the food is not that good, in my opinion. But it is number one, not just here, but in metro areas all over the country where a Chick-fil-A exists. It beats out Burger King. It beats out Taco Bell. Taco Bell, actually, consequently, has the shortest wait times of any quick service restaurant in the country by a lot. Taco Bell gets you your food lickety-split. Chick-fil-A has the longest wait times, and that is something that customers detest, but they have good customer service. People will make up an excuse for mid-range food because everything that's available at Chick-fil-A is available somewhere else, ladies and gentlemen. But customer service is so high at Chick-fil-A that people don't mind waiting. And they rate it the highest quick service restaurant in the entire nation. Shocking to me. For the third year in a row, InTouch Insight concluded that Chick-fil-A had the slowest drive-through wait times out of all the chains featured in this study. Chick-fil-A's average drive-through time came in at 479 seconds, and it's the only restaurant chain in the study that reached the 400-second mark. So there's, of all the other restaurants, they don't even reach 400 seconds of wait time. Chick-fil-A is damn near 500 seconds. Just damn near like 9 minutes. Chick-fil-A also had the highest average service and wait times, and its wait times went from 124 seconds in 2023 to 181 seconds in 2024. Here's what's crazy about Chick-fil-A. Their wait times actually went up, but it did not impact how consumers love Chick-fil-A. It did not make the customer sentiment of Chick-fil-A go down. Chick-fil-A has longer wait times and lost no customers because of it. Chick-fil-A's average 299-second average service time this year is slower than any of the previous years. So Chick-fil-A's service is getting slower, but customers still rate it high because the engagement that would-be Chick-fil-A diners receive from the staff. And you don't even really have that much interaction with the staff. I know the one on 124th and Capitol, I think is this weather, because I've only been there once. Is this only a seasonal thing where they have somebody outside that actually takes your order with like a pad? They have like an iPad and they take your order. So you don't order from a screen. You order from a person and then you get up to the window and you get your food. I don't know if they do that year round, if they have people standing out there in the cold with the iPad taking your order. But and I also can't remember the last time I went inside a Chick-fil-A. You know what? I don't know if I've ever been inside a Chick-fil-A. I remember Chick-fil-A when they were in Northridge in the 80s and the 90s, and then they disappeared, and then they came back. That was in Milwaukee. Right now, there's no Chick-fil-A's in Milwaukee, unless there's one somewhere buried deep on the south side. Chick-fil-A's tend to stay out of urban areas, and that's probably for very good reason. But they have the slowest wait times of any quick service fast food restaurant, but they are consistently rated the highest. I want you to hold that thought. I'm going to come back. I'm going to talk to Brian on the other side, that I want to connect this to the education system in America. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back shortly.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Thank you, Truth Nation. Because of your unwavering and incredible support, we are proud to announce that we are officially sold out for our first annual Truth Community Awards. We are so excited to celebrate excellence, passion, and the power of community with you on Friday, February 28th at Potawatomi Casino and Hotel. This will be an evening filled with entertainment, heartfelt stories, and celebrating our city with the 101.7 The Truth team. Congratulations to the 10 award recipients we will honor that night. They are Dr. Tamika Johnson, Eric Shake James, Ebony Solly, Carvel Brooks, Chris Abele, Walter Stern, Latrice Harris, Melody Madden, Justin McCoy, and Minister Kevin Simmons. Thank you for all of your positive contributions to the city of Milwaukee and beyond. The Truth Community Awards is presented by Potawatomi Casino and Hotel. Visit paysbig.com. Sponsored by Community Advocates, where meeting basic needs inspires hope. And brought to you by the award-winning 101.7 The Truth, Milwaukee Black Talk. It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Here is Dr. Ken Harris with his truth.
You know, in life, our journey is not meant to be walked alone. As much as self-reliance and independence are celebrated, we need an inner circle, a group of trusted friends who uplift, challenge, and remind us of our purpose. Your inner circle is more than just companionship. It's your compass. These are the people who see your potential when self-doubt clouds your vision, who tell you the truth even when it's uncomfortable, and who stand beside you when the weight of the world feels unbearable. You know, the value of an inner circle is not just in the emotional support, but in accountability. They hold us to our highest standards, ensuring we don't settle for mediocrity. It's through this circle that we refine our thoughts, grow in character and courage to face life's battles. Today is no exception. Choose wisely. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, energize you, and believe in your dreams as much as you do. They will then shape your growth, strengthen your resilience, and celebrate your victories. You know, James Baldwin once said, "The place in which I will fit will not exist until I make it." Your inner circle is part of that place, a foundation for your growth, your success, and most importantly, belonging.
This has been Truth Takes on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Listen to The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris, weekdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
For over a decade, Chick-fil-A has rated in the top 3. It's actually fallen to Del Taco is number 1, and I don't think we have any Del Tacos in Milwaukee. And then KFC is number 2. KFC also has incredibly short wait times as well. But Chick-fil-A, no matter where they're located, no matter what metro area they're located in, the north, the south, the east, or the west, Chick-fil-A has been rated incredibly high. And it's mostly because of the customer service that people receive when they go there. So here's the thing. It doesn't even matter who the employees are. It can be all black Chick-fil-A and all white Chick-fil-A and all Latino Chick-fil-A. Doesn't matter. They are rated top in any market, in any city, in any county in which they exist, right? It's because of the staff. The staff are so good. They're so well trained. They're so well versed in customer service that Chick-fil-A is rated high. And here's what's interesting. Why can't we do that with schools? If I ask you what does it take to have a good restaurant, you're going to say customer service, you're going to say a very quality product, et cetera, et cetera. You're never going to blame the customers. You're never going to say, oh, well, the customers are horrible, therefore the restaurant is horrible as well. No. The customer is the recipient of the top-notch service. But if I ask you, well, what makes a good school, we're going to say, well, where's the school located? How poor are the kids? What's the funding like? How many kids are special needs? We never blame the teachers. If there's a low-rated restaurant on this list, and there are, you don't blame the customers, but for some reason when it comes to education, we blame the kids. We don't ever blame the teachers. That's like if Chick-fil-A was rated lower, we would say, well, the people that go to Chick-fil-A is what makes the restaurant horrible. No. The people, the customers, are the end users. It is the restaurant itself. Its theme, its cleanliness, its level of service, its quality of food. Why can't we have that same thinking when it comes to schools? We are quick to blame the kids or blame the parents when schools fail instead of looking at the teachers. Look at the institution itself. If Chick-fil-A sucks, they can't blame the customers. Schools are institutions in which children are the end recipients. They are receiving the service. The children are the customers. So why are we blaming them? We should be blaming the school itself, the institution itself, the customer service and the quality that school is providing to those children. When we ask what it takes to make a school successful, we always say, oh, well, they have to have students that come from a background that's very privileged and they have to come from a wealthy zip code. It shouldn't be that way. If a school is underperforming, it should be rated like a restaurant that's underperforming. If you have bad service delivery, it's your fault. You are the trained people. You are the trained educator, just like the people at Chick-fil-A or Del Taco or KFC. They have to be trained in customer service because people will rate customer service incredibly high. Even if the product isn't that good, people will still flock to and gravitate toward a restaurant that has really good customer service. Why can't we improve our service delivery, and not just to the children in our schools, but also to the parents? Have you ever wondered how teachers engage the parents? Do they the teachers only call the parents when the child is acting up, when the child is being bad? What kind of relationship is established? What kind of customer service are our schools providing? Because I think it's disingenuous to blame children. Because children are required to be in school. And if they're required to be in school till they're 16, this is by state law now, then the service that those children and that community and those parents are getting needs to be high, because people will rate an overall higher level of satisfaction if the service that they, the end users, which are the parents and the students and the community, are receiving, then people will be much happier with their schools. But I think that we are so quick to blame the children. You would never blame a customer at a restaurant as to why the restaurant sucks. No, it's the restaurant's fault. Your product is shoddy. Your service is terrible. Your bathrooms aren't clean. It is your fault. You, the restaurant, you are the institution, and you are required, if you want to be rated as successful, to have a high level of customer service. But for some reason, our schools are the only institutions in which we blame the students when the institution is a failure. Let's talk to Brian. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
Pretty good. Love your show.
Thank you.
Granted, Chick-fil-A's food is not all that great.
It is. However, it really is not.
It's just every time you go in the door, somebody acknowledges you. I don't know if they teach those people that they hire to use their peripheral vision, but everybody that goes through that door is acknowledged and said hello to, even if it's a subtle hello. They're acknowledged. It's like a bunch of Mormons working, to be honest with you. I was in Clinton, Maryland one time. They had an all-black staff. That's all-black. That's like the East Coast Atlanta. All-black staff, and they all acted one way. Professional, like Mormons, like they're straight off the Cosby Show or something. And that's the way Chick-fil-A is all over the country. Whoever their trainers are, they get it. Because that food is just, to be honest with you, just average. But you're right. It is the customer service.
How did Mormons, I'm curious, Brian, because you mentioned Mormons a couple of times. You're like, oh, the Chick-fil-A staff and employees must be like Mormons. How did Mormons become the gold standard in customer service? Just curious.
I have no idea, but it must be brainwashing or something. You can have your youngest looking YN type black kid working at a Chick-fil-A, but in the streets he looks like something you want to avoid. But if he goes to Chick-fil-A, he puts on that face. It's like they've been chip-headed or something like that, or something. They just get it. They just get the customer service thing, and it's like it's astonishing to see, to be honest with you. But it works for them all over the country.
Indeed, it
so
does.
Yeah, people will go to any place if they're going to be treated right.
Thank you, Brian.
So,
I appreciate your insights on the Chick-fil-A and Mormons, apparently. How would you even know? Where has Brian or any of you ever gone to where the people that are serving you, providing top-notch, top-tier customer service are Mormon? Can Mormons even work outside the home? What do Mormons even do? Those are the Jesus Christ for Latter-day Saints people. There's no way that Mormons can be the gold standard in customer service. I would say the Amish are probably higher rated than the Mormons, and the Amish really can't leave the house. I don't even know if the Amish have plumbing. They live like it's 1840. There's probably some Amish people that think they can still own slaves. However, I digress. Mormons don't like black people. Did you know that Mormons believe that black people are born cursed? That's why we're black. And when Mitt Romney was running as the Republican nominee against Barack Obama in 2012, that came up. And then Mitt Romney was asked to justify it. He was like, well, you know, it's just a part of the religion. So wait a minute, Mitt Romney, you and your Mormon faithful believe that black people, like if we have to go through like a whole process to cleanse ourselves of our blackness, and then God gets to decide which black people go to heaven. So I don't know how Mormons became Brian's gold standard for customer service. Chick-fil-A is consistently rated as the top-ranked fast food restaurant for customer satisfaction, drive-through service, and reputation. And over the years, Chick-fil-A's drive-through times and your service time has actually gotten slower, but they are still rated as when it comes to quick service restaurants, as the highest of all of the different quick service restaurants that are available in this country. And here's the thing, because some markets have, what's the one, like In-N-Out Burger and your Hardee's and Carl's Jr. and Del Taco. We don't even have nearly as many quick service restaurants as other larger metropolitan areas do. So think about how much more competitive those places are if you have 20 or 30 quick service restaurants. But we don't have nearly that many in southeastern Wisconsin. And Chick-fil-A still beats them out. It's because of their customer service. You don't blame the customers. In fact, isn't the customer always right? Why don't we treat our children in the public education sphere like they are always right, or putting their best interests forward? This is why I have a problem with how the teachers union in Milwaukee operates, because they say, no, the teachers are always right. It has to go our way. We're looking out for our best interests, not for our customers. Could you imagine a restaurant where the restaurant workers and the staff and everybody there was only looking out for their best interests and they didn't want to inconvenience themselves to serve you? The restaurant would be closed. I don't know if the service that our children are receiving, and it's not just the kids, it's the parents. We're always talking about, the parents need to be much more involved. It is the schools that we are paying. It is the teachers that we are paying. And our property taxes all just went up this year because we are giving the schools more money. Okay, with the money that you get, with the salary and the benefits and the retirement that you can get and the lucrative pensions that you can get, what kind of services are you providing? What kind of customer service are you providing to the children and to the parents? We're always saying, the parents need to be much more involved. Maybe the schools need to be much more involved. What are schools doing in the community? How are they connecting with the surrounding neighborhood? Because they have an obligation to do that. A school is not just where kids go and get some kind of education. Schools are a part of the community. And I know this because I used to work at a community learning center where after the school day, that school would open up to the community. South Division High School had a pool. You could go swimming. They had a gym. You could shoot around in the open gym. There were parents that never finished high school. They offered GED classes and high school equivalency classes open to the community. And here's what we found. Because some girls, they would get pregnant, let's say freshman year, sophomore year, and they would drop out of school because they got to take care of the baby. What we found is that when parents decided they wanted to go back to school to get their GED or their high school equivalency diploma, and they went with their children who may have dropped out of school, the graduation rates were damn near perfect. When you integrate the children who are coming back to school and the parents who maybe never finished their high school diploma, you have graduation rates that are almost 100%. And guess what? MPS used to count those graduation rates too. If you're 40 years old and you go back and get your high school equivalency diploma from one of the schools that may offer that still have community learning centers, MPS counts you as a graduate that year. Did you know that? But that is a way in which you can integrate the community, and I would dare say that is providing a level of customer service. Hey, community, what do you need? And the people in the South Division attendance area said, we want night school available at this high school where parents can go back and get their GEDs or their high school equivalency diplomas and sometimes do that at the same time as their children who may have dropped out of high school. Take a break, come back, talk to Dre on the other side. Dre, you hang out for a second. I'll be back in a few minutes. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will return in 3 minutes.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You cannot look me in the face and tell me that America is the greatest country in the world when you have people who cannot have access to quality health care.
This is The Truth Unfiltered with Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
We need to change the structure of insurance companies to make them nonprofits so that there's not a profit motive for you to make up your mind as to whether or not you're going to help somebody.
Sundays starting at 7 on 620 WTMJ and Mondays at 6 on 1017 The Truth.
Heart disease won't stop us. Diabetes won't slow us down. Allergies, high blood pressure, shoulder pain, cancer. Nothing will keep us from pushing Wisconsin ahead. Because with the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, forward progress is what we stand for. That means always pushing and always innovating. With new technologies and breakthrough treatments that make life better, whether we're sick or well. It means providing more convenience and more ways to receive medical excellence for all your health needs, for big and small. It means being there for you, our family, caring for yours. So let's keep raising the bar. Let's keep testing the limits of what medicine can do. Let's push ahead and make life here as great as it can be. Visit Freighter.com to find out how.
Life's better with American Family Insurance. Because whether it's a family road trip in your dream car or hosting a family reunion in your dream home, we help you feel protected so you can enjoy those dreams with peace of mind. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Gruber Law Office. One call, that's all.
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 Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
One call, that's all.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
always say, what's good for the goose, it's always good for the gander. Irish sailor.
833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. So even if the service is slow, the slowest service in an entire industry, right, which you would think would be a deal breaker. No one would rate anything high if the service is slow, especially in a world where everybody is in a hurry. But if the customer service is exemplary, people will make up excuses for poor service, for slow service. I shouldn't say poor service. They will sacrifice more of their time if they're getting treated well. And then it makes me wonder, why can't we adopt some of that philosophy when it comes to how we educate our young people? What level of service are we getting from the institution? Because if we got a higher level of service, if the teachers seemed to care, if they were much more involved in the community, if that school better integrated itself, and how do schools engage parents? Because the parents are paying for the schools. Even if you don't own a house, you're paying rent. Your landlord is going to raise your rent because of the increase in the property taxes because of the financial need of the schools. And so don't they have an obligation? If you are getting my money, you owe me. I don't owe you. If a restaurant, as an example, and I use this as an example because it's something we all have experience with, a restaurant won't hinge its success on its customers. Schools, for some reason, hinge their success on, well, what's wrong with the kids? Or are the kids majority black? Are they majority Hispanic? Are they majority poor? None of that should matter if the school is providing a level of service, because teachers are technicians. Teaching is a technical trade. It's a trade. It really is. And in any trade, like if you work in a restaurant, that customer service is a trade too. And are we always complaining that customer service has gone down over the years? It certainly has. But if someone has a bachelor's degree and a master's degree and a teacher's certificate and all this additional education, all these additional credits, you got some teachers that have PhDs, shouldn't they be delivering a level of service that is commensurate with the education that they have as someone who is in a technical trade? Let's talk to Dre. You're on 1017 The Truth. How are you?
Hey, what's going on, Sherwin? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. What's on your mind, Dre?
First, I want to agree with you on that Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A not that good. I don't know why people go crazy over it. But to your point of where you say that, you know, if a restaurant fails, the customer is not the problem, which is true. It's solely based on the service of the customer. But I don't feel that in a school it's solely based on the teacher, because a teacher is only given a curriculum that was given by the state. Now, a lot of times people think, oh, well, what are these teachers doing? I mean, the teacher can teach, yes, and it is a technical thing. It is a technical job that you have to do. This is something that's not just taken lightly. But it's so much more that goes along with it. It's not just the only factor of the teacher. The teacher is just a part of the puzzle that we all look for our kids to go to good schools. I mean, of course, the community, you don't have many of places that's given out like the GED or night school and stuff like that. Even then, at one point in time, there were schools that would do it, but the state feels that it's inadequate for that to be happening. Why? I do not know. I mean, I ain't the government. So along with that is just kind of still, I'd say, yes, it can be a blame of like bad schools. There are many other factors, but solely the teacher can't be the thing.
I'm going to give you a little bit of grace on your reply, but it seems like when we get these report cards on how poor or how well the schools are doing, the first excuse that we hear from poor performing schools, because it's the same schools on the list every single year. It's, well, the students are disadvantaged and the students live in poverty. Part of delivering service is knowing who your customers are. If you know that these children are coming from challenged backgrounds, Milwaukee is not the only place that has children and families living in poverty. You've got other school districts all over the country that are dealing with the same thing, yet they consistently outperform Milwaukee. If you have a business, if you have a restaurant, your first obligation is to know your customers and know your clientele. That's number one. Number two, the state gives schools and school districts a tremendous amount of latitude. They'll say, okay, hey, we need kids to be on grade level in reading and math. Teachers, schools, school districts, and school boards, you figure out how to do that. So if you need children to be on grade level in reading and math, and that's really the only state requirement, I guarantee that Dominican High School, Pius High School, Brown Deer High School, they all do it differently. The university school, they all do it differently because they know their customers, and they ultimately can meet that goal of getting the children to be on grade level in reading and math. So they have flexibility in how they instruct, these children to be on the state requirement of knowing, reading and math. But for some reason, we continue to blame the customer instead of blaming the institution. But Dre, I really do appreciate your call. And Dre, you bring up some very solid points. I want to take a break. Good Lord, it was a long weekend. A break, and when I come back, I want to give you guys some details about how disappointed and incredibly dissatisfied Milwaukee parents are with the schools, and therefore they are dissatisfied with Milwaukee. Wait until I give you the statistics of how many Milwaukee parents don't even want their children to ultimately settle in Milwaukee. It's a really good op-ed that appears in the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, penned by our friend Quentin Claiborne. I'm going to talk about that when we start hour 2. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
It's Dr. Ken Harris, and you can watch me now live on YouTube every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m., and you can watch the best radio show in Wisconsin by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Watch me explore the issues which are shaping our community while also having fun discussions, pop culture, current events, all kind of stuff going on right here on YouTube right now by subscribing to 1017 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk is now streaming live on YouTube.
Here at the new 1017 The Truth, we aim to be a staple in Milwaukee's Black community. We are committed to partnering with local organizations and supporting Black-owned businesses. We are proud to call Milwaukee our city and promise to be a positive reflection of our community. We look forward to celebrating Black culture and excellence with you every day as we make history and continue to uplift the voices in our city. Join us for the journey at the new 1017 The Truth, founded by Gruber Law Offices, Milwaukee Black Talk.
Thank you, Truth Nation. Because of your unwavering and incredible support, we are proud to announce that we are officially sold out for our first annual Truth Community Awards. We are so excited to celebrate excellence, passion, and the power of community with you on Friday, February 28th at Potawatomi Casino and Hotel. This will be an evening filled with entertainment, heartfelt stories, and celebrating our city with the 1017 The Truth team. Congratulations to the 10 award recipients we will honor that night. They are Dr. Tamika Johnson, Eric Shake James, Ebony Solly, Carvel Brooks, Chris Abele, Walter Stern, Latrice Harris, Melody Madden, Justin McCoy, and Minister Kevin Simmons. Thank you for all of your positive contributions to the city of Milwaukee and beyond. The Truth Community Awards is presented by Potawatomi Casino and Hotel. Visit paysbig.com. Sponsored by Community Advocates, where meeting basic needs inspires hope. And brought to you by the award-winning 1017 The Truth, Milwaukee Black Talk.
Day 1, diagnosis day. The hardest day. The day you hear,
I'm sorry, this is a type of blood cancer.
But day 1 is just one day. At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day 1.
On day 45, I discovered an online community who shared great tips for in-treatment care.
I missed a lot of school during treatment, and LLS helped me keep up.
We are here for you. We exist for everyone fighting leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma, and other types of blood cancer.
On day 185, LLS helped me file my insurance claims properly.
Day 5,840 and counting, and I'm still in remission.
To learn more and get help on day 1, day 2, day 983, or any day, please visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572. That's LLS.org, 1-800-955-4572.
All of your favorite 1017 The Truth content whenever you want. The Truth app has it all. The Truth is on 1017 and 1510 WGKB Waukesha, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hey, David, come in. Got something for you.
Taxi! Taxi!
Welcome to hour 2 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I've got some curiosities that I want to share with you. Why are we not requiring teachers, principals, and administrators to provide a higher level of customer service, not just to the children, but also to the surrounding community? Because those are the technicians. They went to school for this. Yet we continue to blame the kids as to why the school is poor performing. That's like if a fast food restaurant isn't doing well, they might say, well, our customers aren't spending enough money. Our customers are the problem. No, it's you. You are the ones getting paid to offer a service. The service that you give needs to be top priority, because here's what we found when it comes to restaurants that have the slowest wait times ever. Even if you have to be in the drive-through line, or it takes a longer period of time from when you get up to the order window or the order screen, if you have to wait a long period of time, if you provide customer service, people will still come back. People will rate you high. And I got a bunch of folks in the text messages saying Chick-fil-A food is mid at best. Now, Vince texted in. Vince gives an alternative opinion. He says they are the greatest fast food restaurant in southeastern Wisconsin. Vince says, my son and I went to Chick-fil-A on a Saturday afternoon. You got to go on Saturday because they closed on Sunday. Isn't that crazy? Chick-fil-A is not even open all the time, and they're still rated high. My son and I went there on a Saturday afternoon, Vince said, and they gave us a full pan of chicken tenders for free. There had to be at least 50 to 100 tenders in there. I'm thinking somebody ordered that but didn't pick it up in a timely fashion, so they gave it to me and my son. I ain't going to lie to you. I'm not lying to y'all. You give Sherwin free food, you in my family now. You my people. I ain't even lying. Every now and again, you ever order some food and they mess your order up, but they mess it up the right way? They mess it up by giving you too much? I'll go back to that restaurant and hope that they mess up again. And here's the thing. They probably will mess up again, but the next time they mess up, they won't give me too much food. They'll give me the wrong order. There's a particular fast food restaurant. I'm not going to name them because I ain't going to do that, because there is some black ownership in this particular fast food restaurant. Their customer service is so bad that you feel guilty going there, because you have to like prepare yourself for the person that takes your order to be mad at you. You ever go to some fast food restaurants and the people that work there are mad at you because you're coming? Because you're in the drive-thru and you're ordering food. They're mad at you. They got an attitude with you. And mad at you at their restaurant ordering food. Like, how dare you be hungry on my shift? It's one place that's so bad that I swear you'll go there and order food, and the food that they give you ain't even from that restaurant. Like, somebody will go to JJ's, and that's the order that you'll get. It's just the weirdest thing ever. Who is this, Rick, on line one? Is this Bob? Oh, Lord. Bob.
Hello there, Sean. I planning on giving you a break today, but you brought up a good topic.
Bob, before you get started, you know what I'm going to ask you, right?
Diversity, equity, inclusion. Now, see, you don't make nobody else say that.
I don't make anybody else say that for one reason, Bob, because everybody else knows what it stands for. But thank you. You may proceed with your points.
You are very that's unfair. When I worked in a warehouse one time, the guy used to play baseball. I worked in the freezer until I got enough seniority to be on the dock checking the stock to come out of the freezer.
That makes a lot of sense that you worked in the freezer because it froze your brains.
10 below zero it was there. And then I got enough seniority. And they played baseball. And he'd open that freezer door, and then they stopped playing. And then I got overtime.
Bob, what does this have to do with Bob? What does this have to do with anything that I'm talking about? Anything?
The union kept them, and they should have been gone. And the emphasis should be more so on the individual the union needs, the teacher that the union needs to fire, not so much on the union. The union has tons of money, and we need unions, if you're a teacher, to fight that tons of money. You know, and that's what it has to do. A quick other example,
First of all, unions don't have tons of money. Since Act 10 passed in Wisconsin in 2011, unions don't have nearly the amount of money that they used to. I'm still trying. I'm trying to be fair to you, Bob. I'm trying to connect what you said in your examples to what I am talking about. I'm talking about levels of customer service that children and parents and families and communities are not getting from schools, and that the teachers union, the MTEA union, they benefit their members more than those teachers benefit the children. They're looking out for one another over the needs of the people of the community, those parents, and of those children. And what you said didn't relate to that, but maybe in your mind it did, but to everybody else that's listening, they're just as confused as me. But go on.
They have more money, irregardless, than a single teacher does.
What does the union's money have to do with poor customer service that teachers and administrators are providing to children and to families and to communities?
Because the emphasis should be on that union getting rid of that teacher, not getting rid of the union. We need the union. Because
Bob, I never said that we need to get rid of the union, but the union are still going to support teachers that are poor because that's what the union does. And if there are teachers that are causing way more damage to children and to students and to their learning environment, the union is still going to fight for that teacher. Because if the union fires the teacher, then the money that you say the unions have is going to go down because that's one less person paying dues, brother. So they're not going to fire the teacher. That's where their money comes from.
Sherwin, when I was in 8th grade, okay, I'm going to tell you how it pertains. A 90-weight teacher laughing with the paddles and holes in her paddles because the guy chewed gum in class. And then that woman popping that boy, and he's 200 pounds. They don't do that now. They're too ornery. These kids are too rough, tough. You can't get a 90-year teacher nowadays to have a paddle and be laughing because he had gum in his mouth. And
Bob, I would argue that is better customer service because discipline is something that children need. And quite honestly, that discipline that child got in the classroom from the 90-year-old teacher is probably similar discipline that child would get at home. It might be certain times where that child is at home and they shouldn't be chewing gum and their parents would discipline them. I would say that is a level of customer service that is gone because as long as the parents and the community agree that corporal punishment should be in the schools, and that is a teacher providing a service to not just that child, but also to the parent because they are consistent with the discipline. Your example was faulty. Do you have another?
You have said enough that you have not reached a height that makes me say we don't need a union or it's mostly the union.
And I'm sure your union was very good to you, but you have to look at unions different than your experiences. If children are not getting a level of service from someone that is in a union and the union does nothing about it but protect the teacher that's giving the child the bad service, then there is an issue. Would you agree? Okay, so Bob has to think about that. Why do I argue with him every day? I am not saying that an answer is derived from taking a union away. But if we see how customer service makes an end user rate an institution higher, then maybe that's where the focus needs to be of these technically trained individuals that we are trusting with our children. And in some times of the year, the children are with their teachers and with their educators, especially if they're doing sports and doing after-school activities. They are with those teachers and administrators and principals and coaches more than they are with their parents. Just like the formula for a successful restaurant requires good customer service, why aren't we asking the same thing from our educational and academic institutions? Because we are paying them. What are we paying them for? Why are we paying them to blame the children? Children will react and will respond to the environments that they are in and the standards that they are given. And as an adult, we know that. But instead of looking at the adults who are trained to provide this service, we blame the kids. A restaurant can't say, well, we failed because our customers are awful. A school shouldn't be able to say, well, we're failing because our kids are poor. No. You got teachers with master's degrees. Some of them got multiple master's degrees. That's a technical trade. Teaching, being an educator, is not just trying to teach a kid how to read and how to write. It's understanding the entire child. It's understanding their development. Part of what a teacher has to do, they got to know childhood development. These teachers know at the age of 12, now we can start teaching algebra and start teaching much more complicated math, because in the development of a child, teachers know childhood development. They know these things. And the other question is, why are we requiring these schools to be integrated parts of the community? And I think you know why that is, because you'll have a school that's located in the central city neighborhood and teachers that come from the suburbs. They can live outside the city of Milwaukee. They have zero interest of integrating themselves into the neighborhood in which they work and make their salaries and make their living. That's a problem. Not to use myself as an example, but all of the teachers, all of my coaches, they were my neighbors. They live right in the neighborhood with me. They were right there. They didn't go to some far-off place after school. My football coach and my economics teacher, Mr. Carpenter, may he rest in peace, I'd be riding my bike up and down the street. I see Mr. Carpenter outside washing his car, and I would just sit and just chat with him. And then he's my football coach, and he was my economics teacher. There was a connection that I had outside of the classroom with my educators. That was a level of customer service. It's like the people at Chick-fil-A shopping and spending time in the neighborhood in which they work. And that might actually add to the high level that we rate Chick-fil-A at, because maybe those employees are more accessible. They're members of our community. Teachers shouldn't be folks that just fly in, do their job, and leave. No, if you are actually committed to the technical trade of your craft, you know that it's more than just teaching these children. You've got to be integrated with the community and have a relationship with the parents. And maybe some schools do. I know this much: when it's a really high-performing school, we always look at parental involvement. Like, oh, these parents are much more involved. Have we ever asked the question if the schools of some of these high-performing students, the role that they play, they might have an open dialogue with the parents. And it's not just when the child is being disciplined. Hi, I'm so-and-so. I'm your son's math teacher. Hey, just want to let you know, here's the lesson plans that we're doing this week. Here's what's going on. We really enjoy having your son in class. If you as a parent ever want to have a conversation with me, ever want to talk to me, if there's things that you are concerned about, here you go. I'm here to provide you that service, because this is your child and your child is in my care and I'm teaching your child. Think about how that parent would want to be more involved. Right? Shouldn't we be asking for that? From the Journal Sentinel, how do parents pick Milwaukee schools? Results were shocking. Got the opinion right here. It does no good for our region if we produce talent that buys a plane ticket out the first chance they get. Better schools will keep our families here. Here's some key points. Many Milwaukee parents are dissatisfied with school options available for their children and are forced to travel outside of their neighborhoods to find quality education. Doesn't that sound familiar? Like, if you want quality service, or if you want fresh fruits and vegetables and you live in certain zip codes in the city of Milwaukee, you are forced to travel outside of your community, sometimes for better products and also for better service. We shouldn't have to do that with schools. Schools are not damn grocery stores. Wherever a school is, there should be a high level of customer service and involvement when it comes to that school and those administrators with the surrounding community, and particularly those parents. Families with fewer resources often struggle to navigate the school system and prioritize proximity over academic quality. If we know that some parents in a particular zip code, the attendance area of a school, might have struggles navigating how complicated what their options are for their child, how they navigate signing their kids up for school. Isn't that a level of customer service that needs to be provided to those parents? Or do we just expect the parents to know? And if the parents are kept in the dark about what all of their options are and how they navigate some of these very complicated things when it comes to registering their children for school and different dates that have to be met and paperwork that may have to be submitted and vaccinations and all these other things that go into it, shouldn't we be providing to those parents who are, again, the parents are paying. They're paying for that service. You aren't just having your taxes go up arbitrarily and then you send your children to these schools, and then the people that are collecting the money get to say, nah, it's your kid that's the problem. Why can't there be more blame? Because y'all need to understand that we're not getting anywhere when it comes to education, and this is a workforce challenge. 20 or 30 years from now, what we are producing out of our public schools will not be viable for a strong workforce in the city of Milwaukee. A lack of awareness about high-performing schools, including charter and private options, limits parental choice. I know that's going to be controversial for some of y'all, but what if there are, let's say, grocery stores and restaurants that have high service and high quality food, but we're just not communicating that to people that live in food deserts? If there are higher performing schools and the parents are not made aware of them, then somebody's head needs to roll for that. If there are options available, parents, again, who are paying for the service of education need to have that information that they essentially are paying for. You know what would be real slick? If a school reached out to a parent and said, hey, considering your situation and your child, we can't even recommend you send your child to North Division. We can't even recommend you send your child to the Barack Obama school, whatever the hell Custer is called right now. We can't recommend it, but here's what we will recommend. Here are some schools that'll better meet the needs of your child based on what we know about your child, based upon their academic record, their attendance record, and their test scores. Could you imagine that? If the school was like, I'm going to prioritize these children and their learning over the lackluster talent in this particular school. Imagine if that school said, we would rather your child go to this school in the district, a different district school, not the school in your attendance area, because it will do better for your child. It'll be better for your child and better for you. Imagine that. You'll never hear that. You will never hear a school or an administrator or a principal saying, you know what, several of our children would be better served if they went to a private school, if they went to an MPS charter school or UW Milwaukee charter school. Hell, I have gone to car dealerships to buy a car, and I was like, Sherwin, if you're looking for a deal on this Ford, let me recommend a better dealership for you because we simply can't help you. And just because we can't help you with this dealership doesn't mean that we're not going to recommend a place where you can get what you were actually looking for. And here's what's crazy. If a car dealership did that, said, well, yeah, we can't help you, but here's another dealership that we can send you to, I'm going to rate the dealership that sent me away very, very high, and I'm more likely to recommend them to somebody else. Because they may not have had the Ford that I wanted, but they may have the Ford that somebody else wants, you see. I think this is the missing link, because I'm also getting tired of these people that do not live in our community, that will not integrate themselves in our neighborhoods, are teaching our kids, but then blaming the children, the end users, on how bad the schools are doing. Just like we wouldn't allow a restaurant to blame the customers as to why it failed. It's the restaurant's fault. And even if the service is slow, like Chick-fil-A, it's still rated, like service in the time you order your food, so when you actually get your food, Chick-fil-A has the longest wait times in the fast food industry, but they are consistently rated as number one or very close to it every single year because the service that they provide makes up for some of the shortcomings. Imagine if district schools had a deeper level of service, care, and compassion for the students, for the community, for the families, and for the neighborhood. We may rate them as higher and be much more willing to be involved. But all they're doing is blaming the kids, blaming the parents for not being involved. Some parents literally have no idea. And we can sit on our high horses and blame the parents for being dumb, but people don't know what they don't know. And if there's a neighborhood or a community or a census tract or a zip code that has lower levels of education when it comes to the parents, why are we expecting people that have lower levels of education to know everything about education? And here's the thing. We have all the data and the statistics that tell us that. So if there's a school located in an area where the parents have lower levels of education, that school owes those parents more information because we know that the parents aren't educated. not gonna sit here and let people suffer because those parents are still funding those damn schools. A lack of awareness about high-performing schools, including charter and private options, limits parental choice. The default choice for many families remains Milwaukee public schools, but a significant number turn to alternative options after trying MPS. The desire for better educational opportunities is a driving factor behind Milwaukee families leaving the city, raising concerns about the future of the region. So if you live in the city of Milwaukee and you don't like the amenities, you don't like the parks, you don't like the lack of grocery stores that have fresh food, fresh fruits, vegetables, and produce. You just don't like whatever is offered by the neighborhood in which you live in. A lot of folks move away for that. They do the exact same thing when it comes to education. If where you live does not offer the amenities that you desire, then you move. And parents should be able to exercise that exact same option, or allow the parents to stay put because not everybody has money to move, but give that child more options than just the poor performing schools in that attendance area. I'm going to take a break, come back, continue our conversation about levels of customer service that we should require, because every time the district asks for more money, we give it to them. But what are we getting in return? All we're getting is more excuses on how these children can't learn. And you can't blame poverty. Black folks have been poor since forever and still created, invented, engineered anything and everything you can imagine. Out of poverty, by the way. In fact, most of the significant inventions and creations by black people were scientific, technological. They involved engineering and math, STEM. And what did they do? They took the STEM out of the schools when public school districts became majority minority. They took out the thing that made black inventors so great. George Washington Carver and all the stuff he did with a damn peanut. That was STEM. So why would you take that out of schools? I think you know why that is. Again, that's a poor level of customer service. The schools owe us more for the money that they are getting. They just got another $250 million. And all they're going to do is tell us that the kids, it's their fault, they're unteachable. Maybe it actually is the teachers and their lack of real commitment. You got to be more than committed to just that child. You got to be committed to the whole education paradigm, including the people in that community and the parents who may have lower levels of education as well. And if you cannot see that, if that's not your vocation, if that is not your lifelong endeavor, then go do something else. Then go, I don't know, be a snowplow driver. I think we need some of those, don't we? The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Come in with straight truth.
Thank you for what you just said. I didn't even think of that last part you said of this. That's why you come to a globe head like you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I do have a globe head. Look at that. Shining.
Okay, there you go.
I appreciate that.
No, but fair. Very neutral.
I try.
All right, then. I appreciate it.
All right. Appreciate you, Mike. Take care.
Listen to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris every weekday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 101.7 The Truth and The Truth app.
If you've ever worried about your heart, if you've ever loved someone with heart disease, if you've ever wondered if you're the one at risk, let's remind ourselves that we are not powerless. Because at the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, we're pushing to outsmart heart and vascular disease by working with you personally to understand your history, assess your risks, and guide you to heart strength. By digging deep with tireless research and offering access to leading-edge clinical trials. And for the most serious conditions, including heart failure, heart valve disease, arrhythmias, and vascular diseases, we provide renowned expertise and the most advanced life-saving procedures you expect from academic medicine. So let's get out in front of heart disease. Let's outsmart it. Let's keep pushing so that every one of us can outrun it and embrace every beautiful day life in Wisconsin has to offer. To learn more about our nationally renowned heart and vascular care, visit Froedtert.com/heart.
I walk on the shoulders of giants who have come before me.
I am ASAP and Maya Angelou.
I am Marva Collins and Frederick Douglass.
From A to Z, I celebrate
emulate, and commemorate their example.
This is part of the Declaration of Excellence Milwaukee College Prep Scholars recite, not just during Black History Month, but each and every morning, because our students don't just honor history, they're determined to shape it. Enroll your scholar at MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com.
Immerse yourself in a place where bold ideas are sought after, where all are encouraged to bring their personal flourish. Here, innovation is a way of life. In this city, the beat flows. Together, we're dancing to the rhythm, forward. Now, it's your turn to grab hold of that energy, where you'll remember not just the meals, the celebrations, or the uncommon coast. What you'll remember is how we made you feel. Come experience Milwaukee, where fresh meets fearless every day.
Sharon needed legal help. She needed Gruber Law Offices.
When I think about Gruber Law Office, I think about how they took care of me, how they make sure that you get what you're supposed to get. Gruber Law Office. One call, that's all. I will always trust one call, that's all.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
They are the best. I'm very happy.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
To look at it another way, if I am the customer and I go into an establishment, hell, it could be in a hospital, and I have health insurance, or I'm paying my medical bills, right? I am paying you to take care of me. If I go to Chick-fil-A, I am paying you to take care of me, to take care of my need for food, take care of my hunger, and to take care of my need and desire for good service. Does that make sense to you? Because we want to adopt all these business philosophies. Well, then guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Let's apply them. Some of y'all wanted to vote for Donald Trump because he's a businessman. Well, then let's apply some business principles. If I am paying you, whether it's cash out of my pocket or with my tax dollars, I am paying you to take care of me. Even if I have no choice. Because when it comes to taxes, you really don't have a choice. You're going to pay your taxes. In fact, you don't pay taxes. Taxes are taken, you see. You still owe me a level of care because I am paying you to take care of me. We are paying these teachers to take care of our children, not blame them. If I pay my health insurance and pay my medical bills and I go to the hospital and I'm sick, I can't have the doctors and the nurses saying, well, you're just a really bad patient. We don't want to take care of you because you're just a bad patient. We're just going to let you sit. Maybe you'll take care of yourself. Good luck. I hope your ailment goes away. No, I'm paying you exorbitant amounts of money to take care of me. Let's talk to Alan. You're on 1017 The Truth. How are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you doing?
Doing great. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, so am I. I turned you on. You know what? I've been trying to turn more and more people onto you. Because you were more concerned. You got to go back and listen to some like older Rush Limbaugh back during Act 10. And,
horrible
you know what? You sound exactly
horrible.
No, it's not. Listen to your words, my friend. You're absolutely right. Everything you're saying is absolutely right. It's everything I believe, man. Absolutely. You're paying. We don't have a choice. We have a choice where we shop. You know, I can go to the Macy's or I can go over here to the Family Dollar. And to be honest with you, Family Dollar, I get better service. But the thing is, when you're talking about education, you're laying down the law today, man. Absolutely right. Proud of you.
Thank you.
Really, I'm blown away. Literally. You're saying, I mean, you listen to like Dan O'Donnell, the fraud, right? He's a fraud. But you listen to him, he's a pretend conservative, and they use it to make money. You're a true, in the old days, what we'd call, a true Democrat. And that you have those beliefs that like John Kennedy had. You know, you're believing in helping yourself, and you also believe that the teachers' union is a racket, boy. Is it ever? And they're tied to the taxes. And that has to do with our the promises that Evers made when he ran for the votes. They're never going to go away until we absolutely join together and just have like a citizens tax revolt. This is just going to keep getting worse and worse. But I don't want to monopolize too much of your time. I got to feed the dogs, then fix up the room. We're going to watch. You ever watch TV? Any series or anything?
Yes, sometimes.
You ever watch Reacher? You ever watch this thing called Reacher?
I've heard of it, but I don't watch it. Haven't watched Reacher.
I'll recommend it highly. Reacher is I almost said a bad word. Reacher is the most manly man you're ever going to run into in a TV anywhere. He solves problems, my friend.
Okay.
The way they should be solved.
The way they should be solved.
It's awesome.
All right. I'll watch Reacher.
Exactly. It's on. It started last night. I think they got 3 episodes. Do you watch the one about Bumpy in New York? The one with oh darn it, the mayor of Harlem. Watch that one. That's absolutely true about the heroin, the CIA.
Oh, yeah, Bumpy Johnson,
and Bumpy
the Godfather
Johnson, man.
of Harlem, right? With Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
That was a great movie. Is there a series too, or is it just a movie?
There's a series.
Oh, I haven't watched
Well,
it.
the movie's separate.
What's the movie
This is
called?
a series. It's got 3 seasons.
American Gangsters.
The movie's called American Gangster. That's true too, because they were sending home the dough. He was brilliant. It was coming in the body bags, man. That was stuff we knew back then. But for what it's worth, you know, I'm all kidding aside. I wish you'd join up with me about this stuff with these developers, man. It would be rooted out. I got a communique from the mayor's office about something, and they told me something. I'd love to talk to you, man, because I think that together we could. You might have a Pulitzer here, my friend. There's something going on. I'm sniffing it out, but I'm one guy.
Award, but thank you, Alan, for all the compliments, and I wish I could help everybody that is seeking my assistance, but I only got a certain amount of hours in a day, and Sherwin got to take care of himself first. But thank you, Alan, for the
I'm going to tell you, Sherwin, 1 minute of you is 24 hours to me, man. You're one of the only men I can honestly say. I think you maybe be able to outthink me. You might measure up, if you know what I'm saying. Have a good one, my friend.
All right, you too.
God bless you.
Right.
Can I?
Then Alan, he was gonna keep talking. Sometimes I don't know if I'm on the right track, but I guess I'll take a compliment when I get one. Everybody's not going to agree with me, and I don't do what I do for agreement. I am going to talk about something that's sent shock and outrage through way more people than I thought it would. So Joy Reid, who has had a show on MSNBC for the last 5 years, she was canceled. Now, one of the problems with how Joy Reid found out that she was canceled is she found out on the internet and via social media. Management at MSNBC had not reached out to her and her team first, so she had to find out essentially through the grapevine that her show was going to be canceled. And the number of people that got so upset, like, oh my God, they're getting rid of Joy Reid and all these people are racist. We do have to have a conversation about that, because I don't want anyone to think that an African American that is underperforming needs to be kept just because they're black. That does us no good. Her numbers for her show, I looked at her ratings suck. And not only do her ratings suck, I've been watching Joy Reid for a number of years. In this new era of Donald Trump, she's not adapted. Her team, her producers have not adapted. All she does is she just like name calls, and you can do that, right? But if you are not using your platform to explain and demystify what Trump is actually doing and what it means and what people can do to push back, if you're just, Trump is just a bunch of stupid, he's stupid. And Elon Musk is stupid. Okay, we know that, but you have an obligation to inform the people that are listening to your program more than that Donald Trump is stupid, because we have that part figured out. But whoever this stupid person is, it is Donald Trump and all the people that are in his cabinet, we need to know what they're doing and how it's going to impact us, instead of Joy Reid just getting all super emotional. Like, she clutches her pearls every single day. And I was starting to notice this about her. And I was like, this show is not what it used to be. In this new era of Trump, how people report information has to be different. It can't just be, oh, Donald Trump is stupid and he's just a horrible person. He's still the president with a very powerful executive order pen, and dare I argue, an Elon Musk that is more powerful than both houses of Congress. And so she started to slip. And then she found out, when the rest of us did, that she's being canceled. And I don't want a bunch of black folks saying, oh, they only canceled her because she's black. Do y'all know that black people can suck at stuff? Did y'all know that? That we can be really bad at things and we cannot maintain high ratings. That's the thing about this business, and I know the media business, at least the Milwaukee side of the media business, very well. If you suck, you're going to go. Ain't nobody keeping you just because you're black. And if a company does do that, if you're a horrible employee and they keep you just because you're some kind of racial minority, that's not good for you as the employee. Because you may leave that job and go somewhere else and think you may be qualified for it, but you're not because you sucked, and you still suck. So FYI, y'all, black people can suck at a lot of stuff. If a black person has an auto repair shop and you can't fix brakes and transmissions, then that company, that auto repair shop, is going to go out of business. We can't say, oh, Milwaukee is racist because that black-owned auto repair shop went out of business. What if they actually couldn't repair autos? So we have to stop treating black people with kid gloves. Like, if we want to be competitive, and I think that we do, and if we want to be the best, and I think that we do, you can't suck. All right, take a break, come back. Still talking about education for the foreseeable future, so I'm going to continue that conversation on the other side. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Thank you, Truth Nation. Because of your unwavering and incredible support, we are proud to announce that we are officially sold out for our first annual Truth Community Awards. We are so excited to celebrate excellence, passion, and the power of community with you on Friday, February 28th at Potawatomi Casino and Hotel. This will be an evening filled with entertainment, heartfelt stories, and celebrating our city with the 1017 The Truth team. Congratulations to the 10 award recipients we will honor that night. They are Dr. Tamika Johnson, Eric Shake James, Ebony Solly, Carvel Brooks, Chris Abele, Walter Stern, Latrice Harris, Melody Madden, Justin McCoy, and Minister Kevin Simmons. Thank you for all of your positive contributions to the city of Milwaukee and beyond. The Truth Community Awards is presented by Potawatomi Casino and Hotel. Visit paysbig.com. Sponsored by Community Advocates, where meeting basic needs inspires hope. And brought to you by the award-winning 1017 The Truth, Milwaukee Black Talk.
Today's Making Your Money Work is presented by Associated Bank, and now I am excited to be joined by Tamara Castle. So let's get this thing right started. We are talking about buying a home for first-time home buyers. Why do you think a credit score is important, and what score do I need to be approved for a loan?
Well, of course, we all know that credit score is important. It's really measuring your ability to borrow. So with Associated Bank, we need at least a 620 middle score. And what we do is help customers build up that credit. With me having a background as a counselor, I'm able to tell you, looking at your credit report, what little steps you will need to take to get it up to that 620. Because again, like you said, not everybody is ready to purchase with their score, but once you get some guidelines, some tips to bring that score up, we'll get you ready for the 620 and get you rolling.
I love that. So you help people actually even get it up to where it needs to be so they can buy a home.
Yes, and that makes the kind of difference between me and other loan officers is because I used to be a home buying counselor, so I can give tips while I'm actually doing the application.
What would you say are some benefits of getting a home loan with Associated Bank?
Well, number one is customer service. We strive on that, making sure that we have open communication, and again, using a CRA loan officer that's going to break down what you need versus the loan officer that just says, I can't help you. Click. We are actually going to sit with you, and whether it takes 2 weeks or 2 months or 2 years, we'll still be here to help you with that mortgage loan.
Well, I already know people are ready right now just from hearing this. So how can they contact someone at Associated Bank about getting started?
They can always go to associatebank.com. Obviously, you will look up Tamara Castle and reach out. The best way is phone 262-888-3135. We take the applications over the phone, face-to-face, or online.
I love it. Thank you so much, Tamara, for joining me here today.
Making your money work on the award-winning 1017 The Truth is sponsored by Associated Bank. Your money works here. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Okay.
If I am paying money, you owe me something for my money. And I don't care if it's tax revenue or money that I'm paying you from my wages from my employment. First thing you owe me is you owe me safety when I get on a damn airplane. I'm paying an amount of money for a ticket, and there's this thing called implied warranty. Stuff that I'm supposed to get automatically just because I'm paying. And when I get on the airplane got to be safe. You got to tighten all the nuts and the bolts, and you got to make sure that the wings are winging and the engines are engineing, and you got to make sure that the cockpit is cocking or whatever they do in the cockpit. I need the pilot to be piloting because I'm paying for that. That's why you're charging me money for a ticket. You're charging me money for a ticket so the plane can plane, so the wings can wing, so the cockpit can cock. Okay? You owe me safety. And then, of course, you still owe me service because I'm paying you for it. At the very least, here's another one. Milwaukee Health Department may shut down city schools due to high levels of lead. Now, look here now. I get it. I know that our infrastructure is old. So when Joe Biden was talking about rebuilding our infrastructure and the infrastructure bill, this is one of the things he was referring to. Long time ago, we did not know the hazards of lead. Now we do. And so lead needs to be removed from our water delivery systems all over the city of Milwaukee. And in certain parts of the city, there is no lead water delivery system. But if we are paying for a school system because of our taxes, and we are the end users, our children are the end users, people in that zip code and that attendance area are the end users, what we pay for first and foremost is safety. Children need to be safe in those damn schools. You can't replace all the lead laterals of all of the homes, of all the residents at one time. You got to start with where the people are the most vulnerable, the schools. And again, we're paying them for these services. First and foremost, if I go into your restaurant, if I go into your establishment, some places, you ever notice this, they got security. You walk into a place and they have a security guard. They might have a metal detector or a wand. Maybe it's a bar. Maybe it's a nightclub. Maybe I don't know what it is, but they got security. That's a part of the service that I'm paying for. I'm paying to be safe. And if you got to hire somebody to make sure that I'm safe, okay, because that's a service that I require as well. Here at the 3rd Street Market Hall, we got a parking structure, and it's patrolled often. And I'd imagine for the lease that Good Karma Brands pays to have 2 floors and probably 20-some thousand square feet of office space here, for that lease, they are paying for the visitors and the employees that drive their vehicles to the 3rd Street Market Hall to work here at 1017 The Truth. With our lease, we are paying for that security. Even though I'm kind of skeptical of some of our security that we have patrolling the parking structure. I mean, no shade, but there's a couple of security vehicles, they don't even got no plates on them. They got like a makeshift magnet on the side, Bebe and them security. And in fact, it looks like in some cases, the people that do security in the parking structure here at 3rd Street Market Hall, again, no shade. They look like they stole a car from the parking structure, took the plates off of it, put a makeshift magnet on the side, Bebe and them security, and they keep patrolling the parking structure. But whatever, it's security nonetheless. But that's another service that we should receive because we are paying. Milwaukee Health Department may shut down city schools due to high levels of lead. For the past few weeks, Kristen Payne has been forced to make the difficult decision to send her 3rd grader to school. Her child attends Golda Meir Lower Campus in Milwaukee. A recent lead risk assessment from the Milwaukee Health Department determined all floors and window sills at that school were considered to be a, quote, dust lead hazard. Then shut the school down because at the very least we are paying for the safety of those children. Why do y'all keep asking us for more referendum money? Why did you ask us for $87 million in April of 2020? You got it. Why did you get however many hundreds of millions, if not $1 billion from the federal government during COVID? You got it. You just asked us for another $252 million in a referendum last summer. You got it. And if you cannot provide the basic level of safety for these children, then you got to shut the schools down because you owe the children safety before really anything else. If they're not safe in those schools, if by breathing they can get lead poisoning, then you have to do what you have to do to provide the service that we're paying for. And here's the thing about security. Americans will pay for security. You know how many of y'all got guns? Not because you want to go rob somebody, for security. And guns are expensive. I don't know if y'all know that, but guns cost a lot of money. Some are very expensive. They cost many hundreds and thousands of dollars. But we'll pay for security. Some of y'all got the burglar alarms on your house. Somebody breaks into your house, the burglar alarm makes an alarm noise to scare off the burglar. You'll pay for that service, right? We will pay for security. So part of what we are paying to the district is first and foremost to make sure the kids are secure. And we're having an argument over what? Over the police in the schools. And maybe that is the district, even though that's a more complicated political argument. But if that keeps the children safe and if that stops a would-be mass shooter, then it's worth it. That our tax dollars are being very well spent because safety is something that we as Americans prioritize. Just like if I'm getting on an airplane. I might have to start flying Spirit. Somebody told me Spirit ain't never had a safety incident. Now, Spirit is very much like Soul Plane. But I'll pay Spirit for a ticket to my destination if you can guarantee my safety. Even if you got to charge me more, I'll pay it because safety is something that should be guaranteed when we are paying anybody to provide us a service. Payne said that she and other parents now have concerns about how widespread the issue is at other schools across MPS. Payne and others have started a website and a petition in response to the elevated lead levels, asking for more transparency from the district. No parent should ever have to do that. No parent that is paying, taxpayers that are paying, members of this city and this community that are paying for this district to operate should not have to start a petition and a website to get transparency on the lead that's in the schools. Do you understand how they're not doing right by us? This is the exact same district that will get off easy by blaming the children as to why the school is failing. Why aren't you blaming the highly trained and technically sophisticated, very highly educated people that are in those schools? Why aren't you blaming them? They're the ones that went to school to be a damn teacher. Quote, I really expect more widespread testing of the schools to know the full scope of the problem, Payne said. That needs to happen. City officials gathered earlier in the month to announce dangerous levels of lead dust have been found at Golden Maier Lower Campus and Cagle Elementary School in Milwaukee. One student at each of those schools has tested positive for lead poisoning. Health officials said on February 11th that 2 additional students have tested positive for lead poisoning. Those children attend Maryland Avenue Montessori and Trowbridge Street School of Great Lakes Studies. Lead risk assessments are now underway at those schools. Tyler Weber, the Milwaukee Health Department Deputy Commissioner for Environmental Health, said the cases are the first time schools within the Milwaukee public school system were identified as the cause of lead poisoning in children. You can't, do y'all understand how big of a deal this is? You can't send the children to the school where you're going to blame the children for the poor performance of the school, and then the school is the reason why the kids are poisoned. And you know, the lead poisoning in children can be a reason why children perform poorly. Make that make sense. We're blaming the kids while the schools are not performing up to snuff when it comes to reading and test scores and math. We know that lead can impact a child's brain development and their test scores. We're sending the children to the schools where there is levels of lead where these children are being tested and they're essentially poisoned, but we're still blaming the kids for their lack of educational process. And we're paying for the whole thing. We'll take a break, come back, continue our conversation. Our phone number, if you're so inclined, is 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. Part of it is we think that certain people don't deserve high-quality service because of who they are. If you are poor, if you are black, if you live on a certain street, a certain 100 block, or in a certain zip code, you just aren't entitled to good service. You're not entitled to those things because, you know, that's not fair. Because the money that we pay is green like everybody else's. So we are entitled to the same level of service they get in the Waukesha and the Racine and the Kenosha and the Ozaukee and the Saukvilles and the Green Bays. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Start jamming in the morning and get your daily drop of juice.
Juice gets you hydrated and started for your day. And that's what we plan to do from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Every single morning, we're going to be keeping you in the mix, talking about everything you care about all before 9 a.m.
So wipe that crust out your eyes and get ready for jamming with juice.
Turning your mornings into your favorite part of the day.
Get that stink breath out of here. Brush your teeth.
It's it, bro. What? Catch Jammin' with Juice.
From 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Good morning, Milwaukee.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Reproductive justice is a framework, it's a movement, it's a vision for reproductive freedom, it's a right to have a child, it's a right to not have children, and this next part is really as important as the other parts. It's the right to birth and parent our children with dignity, and the right to live and parent our children in safe and healthy environments. So reproductive justice understands the ability of any person to control their destiny is directly related to the conditions of their communities. It looks at the intersections of discrimination in social, political, and economic systems, and it sheds lights on the barriers that these systems produce. And then we, reproductive justice advocates, fight against the barriers that prevent Black people and other people of color from exercising their rights. That's reproductive justice.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
People often wonder, what's the credit union difference? Well, let me tell you what's different about Educators Credit Union. We're more than just a financial institution. We're a team of people who are actively invested in the next generation and in the communities where you live and work. We're in classrooms teaching financial literacy, in neighborhoods building homes and relationships, and in local communities lending a helping hand. We believe when communities thrive, we all thrive. Educators Credit Union, achieving more together, insured by NCUA.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
My name is Adrienne, and I was hurt in a car accident. What Gruber Law Office has done for me was made me feel safe. It didn't cost me anything, just one call, that's all.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
How do Milwaukee parents choose schools for their children? Why do they make the choices that they do? The answers to these questions are critical to understanding Milwaukee's current state and future improvements. Yet no one has ever asked parents in depth. The Institute for Reforming Government decided to find out. They polled Black and Hispanic parents on the north and south sides of Milwaukee to better understand how equipped parents are to make school decisions for their kids and how happy they are with their options. The RMG Research Inc. online poll includes the responses from 542 parents of school-aged children between October 14th and October 30th, 2024. The margin of sampling error for the full sample is 4.2%. We were shocked by some of the findings. Here are 5 key points based on how parents responded. They must travel far for what they want. Parents most wanted schools with great academics at 35% and extracurriculars at 15%, but also preferred a school that was close at 22%. But too few good options are near their homes. 25% of parents had switched their child's school within the last 3 years, seeking quality. 85% sent their children to a school outside of their neighborhood. In fact, 29% enrolled in a school more than 15 minutes away. Without good schools in every neighborhood, blight will dissolve the fabric of community. We got to talk about this for a second now. Why should parents and families that are paying this district have to send their children somewhere else to get a quality education? Why is that? Number 2, families with the least resources struggle to choose schools. Parents who were unmarried or cohabitating, lower earning, or who seldom or never attend religious services and are younger were less likely to know of great schools, prioritized distance over academics, and switched schools more often. For example, only 27% earning under $40,000 made academics their top reason for choosing their kids' schools, while 43% earning over $40,000 did. That leads to lots of academic disruption and too many low-performing schools, particularly on the north side. So if we know this about parents that make less than $40,000, then the money that we are paying the district needs to go and educate them. And I know you're going to disagree, and you can. But again, we are paying for a service. And if the parents and their lack of information is interrupting the delivery of these services that we're paying for, well, then we need to divert some information to those parents so they can make better decisions. Number 3, parents cannot choose the highest performing schools if they do not know what they are. 38% of Northsiders had never heard of St. Marcus. 34% of Southsiders had never heard of Reagan. Nearly 50% had no name recognition of terrific options like UCC, Lumen, and Alba. Even if top schools with waiting lists have less name recognition than your average TikTok star, why are we surprised when parents decide to move somewhere else? Number 4, Milwaukee Public Schools are their default choice. 90% who picked a traditional MPS school for their oldest child also enrolled their other children in traditional MPS schools. However, only 75% of private school parents and 55% of charter school parents had all of their children in choice schools. Many parents only use school choice as alternatives after trying MPS. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be back for Hour 3.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
As clutch of a player to ever play basketball.
It's game time on Season 4 of Behind the Bucks on Bucks Plus.
This year, I was like, I need to impose myself more on this team.
Explore Damian Lillard's journey to becoming a top 75 player in NBA history.
That's what really had me feeling like this is going to be great.
Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker, and H&R Benefits Consultant. Find Bucks Plus on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Truth Nation, it's your boy Tory Lowe, and I need to let you know the award-winning Tory Lowe Show can now be streamed live on YouTube every day from 1 to 4. I am now bringing all the smoke on YouTube every single weekday. I need you to go to YouTube right now and subscribe to 1017 The Truth and check out the award-winning Tory Lowe Show live every afternoon. Milwaukee Black Talk is now streaming live on YouTube. Now that's powerful.
Truth Nation, let us talk our ish for a moment. There is no other station in the country where you get a front row seat to hear from some of the biggest names in politics, pop culture, and sports. People like Grammy Award winner John Legend.
Knowing that fight isn't over, knowing that we've got to stay motivated and stay inspired. Glory was a song that myself and Common wrote. Two brothers from the Midwest, from Chicago and from Springfield, Ohio.
Oscar Award winning actor Don Cheadle.
I know that we're the bright, shiny thing that sometimes gets the attention, but I would say don't listen to celebrities. You don't have to listen to us. Listen to yourself.
And President Donald Trump's son, Don Jr.
When did we have a strong economy? And I don't think anyone with a straight face can say right now. And the reality, when you look at it, it's not even voting for my father. Look at the team that's now surrounding him.
Tap into the award-winning and nationally recognized 1017 The Truth by downloading the Truth app and streaming us live at 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Milwaukee Black Talk.
Being a caregiver for a family member can be very rewarding. It can be very challenging, too. Besides taking a physical and emotional toll, it can also take a real financial toll, especially if you're paying for home safety upgrades, covering medical expenses, cutting back on hours at your job, or having to leave your job altogether. In some states and in certain situations, you may be eligible to get paid for the care you provide, but finding reliable information about caregiver compensation can be overwhelming and very time-consuming. The AARP Foundation Paid for Care Hub can help. It's a free online tool developed with support from United Healthcare, where you can search compensation programs, explore your options, and get answers to frequently asked questions. Find out today if it's possible to be compensated for the time, effort, and care you're providing. Visit paidforcare.aarpfoundation.org to learn more.
Listen to the home of the 5K Gruber Cash Giveaway. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 3 of The Truth, Sherwin Hughes. Ladies and gentlemen, we all require a level of service for the money that we pay. And I would say an even higher level of service, because when it comes to tax money, that's not money that we pay. That's money that is taken. You don't got no choice. You don't pay your taxes, you go to jail. Are we getting the level of service that we should be getting for the money that we are paying? Milwaukee is an expensive city. Wisconsin is somewhat of an expensive state. I've heard that. I've heard people moving out of Milwaukee, moving out of the county because it's expensive, because our taxes are high. Okay, cool. But for our taxes being high, for the people that are here, that are okay with paying the income taxes that we pay here, the state income tax is 6%, the property taxes that we pay where that goes up consistently, are we getting a level of service for the money that we are paying? And if not, why not? Because that's their fault. If you're going to collect my money, you're going to take my tax dollars, provide me a level of service, or give my money back. You understand it? If you can't provide the service because I'm black, because I'm poor, because I live in this census tract or this zip code, cool, give me my money and let me make choices with my money, since you can't provide the services with what I'm paying you. If I don't like the airline, if I don't like the little peanuts they give me in the little bag, if I don't like the snacks in their menu, and if I don't like the customer service of the flight attendants, I then am going to take my money and get on Spirit Airlines or get on another airline. I have that choice. I gave you my money. I didn't like the service I was receiving. You didn't take care of me to the way and the level I wanted to get taken care of. Then give me my money back. Let me go fly Delta. Well, maybe not Delta. They falling out of the sky too, ain't they? What's one that's not falling out of the sky? Well, Spirit, Soul Plane. Get up on a Spirit airplane. It's Kevin Hart. He the flight attendant and the pilot. Let's talk to Martin. You're on 1017 The Truth. How are you?
Sherwin, you're smoking this morning.
Thanks, Martin.
I had to mess with you. Hey, check this out.
Martin, I just didn't want to go to Arizona.
You all right today?
Yes.
You smoking, though.
What?
So check this out.
Smoking the microphone, not smoking something else. Okay.
I agree. Look at the past generations of MPS parents that was graduated, okay? As far as the 50-year-olds right now, the 60s, and some of the 40s.
Okay.
Back then when MPS had things that was fruitful for you, that taught you something, that actually put a skill into you, that actually taught you nursing, that actually taught you different specialties. As generations went on and the racism came back and strategized more than ever, okay, MPS possessed an all-black cast of students at one point before white flight took. After white flight, I should say. So if you look at the young slave quarters that they have today, when you graduate from MPS, as they pass you along, you got 2 years of remedial courses before you even take your college electives. So you got 2 years you behind plus you're behind 2 more years, so you're really behind 4 years. So if you ain't smart enough to have somebody teach you or be self-taught, because back in the days we had different commercials that would teach us as society would teach us. But now society don't teach us. They rely on you to teach yourself by ill things and by mess-ups. So I had a letter from Norquist. He wanted to make sure the reading proficiencies was lower, okay? And if I keep a generation from learning and I keep them from prospering, I can hold them back.
He wanted to make sure reading proficiency was lower or higher?
Lower. I got the letter. What they did, they recycled the city paper with the probation office so people could have scrap paper. And I got the note. I got to find it. It's just somewhere in the archives. And he wanted to make sure the reading proficiencies were low. I read it over
Yeah, you need to find that for me because he was a stickler on high-performing schools, and he believed in parental choice because you can't build a good, strong city if you got poor schools because parents will not want to come here and they will not want to start families here and buy houses here if the schools were poor. So you said he wanted proficiency to be low. So he wanted kids to read more poorly, is what you're saying?
Yeah, for real.
Now I need to see that letter because I don't believe that about Mayor Norquist.
I got to find it.
All right, find it and call me back because that goes contrary to his legacy.
Hey, one more thing before I leave. That's when I found out Peter blew it. That's when I found out they had $1 billion budget. MPS did.
Okay.
But Peter blew it. That time we had him on the radio. So, yeah, man, they got money. They just ain't going to teach us nothing. I'm out, Black.
All right, then. We'll see you later.
I'm sorry I lied to you, Martin. I just didn't want to go to Arizona.
I'm sorry I lied to you, Martin. I just didn't want to go to Arizona.
Let's talk to Al. You're on 1017 The Truth. How are you, Al?
I'm doing wonderful and happy Monday. I will say it's a different class of parenting from back then to now, especially after the crack and cocaine in the 90s and then, they didn't have their offspring with the crack babies, and some of these 2000 babies is a trip. So some of that is going to be exploited from a certain class of parents that we have today. But the only thing you basically can do is just the kids are just going to have to be a product of some of the parents who did not do their part, because you're going to have good teachers and you're going to have some bad teachers. You're going to have parents who's in there and you're going to have parents who don't give a damn, but they always going to make them go to church on Sunday. Moving forward, I heard you bring up Trump's name, and I know Trump was a failed businessman that brings out the worst in humanity and the worst in people. But my question I would like to ask you, Alan, Brian, Eddie, White Widow, and Al from Sherman Park, and I'm asking respectfully, how can some of them say it's all about America first when you have a African who came here illegally, according to his brother, dictate and be in charge of your of United States of America, the same African who's taken away things from real Americans who worked in foundries, factories, and done everything the American way. And I know those Republicans been very, 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 very quiet about that. And I was just trying to understand, why is it y'all are so quiet? Because I know if this African was black, it'll be all kind of hell. But I know when it comes to African that's coming over here, especially seeing that Africans are too dumb, and he want his people to come over here, I don't hear none of them say anything. And within that question, I was going to ask some of these Republicans who are diehard Republicans, what is the problem with white guilt when it comes to some racist white people? They have no problem speaking their heart, and you allowed to be a racist or a Republican, but y'all have so many issues with white guilt. So I'm just trying to get an understanding from these diehard Republicans, because y'all are so quiet.
Al, when you say they have an issue with white guilt, better explain that for me. Who do they have an issue with having white guilt?
Well, you know, the things that some of their kin folks have did to black people, the way they speak about black people, but then when you bring it to their face and you call them on their stuff, now they play the victim. Oh, I don't want to hear that. Oh, that's not what I meant. But then in the same token, all of them did not come all of them didn't come with a silver spoon in their mouth. Some of them came from very rural towns. Some of their mothers and fathers did not know how to read or write, but they knew how to raise their ass the right way. They knew how to provide, but what happened was they got a taste of life, and they learned their white privilege. Some of their parents was greasers, dope fiends, alcoholic, woman beaters, and used to beat the hell out of some of their parents and used to touch on some of their kids, because some of their kids used to get sent away because they didn't want the dad. They didn't want the people in the neighborhood to know that the daddy actually slept with his daughter, you know. But then they come pushing all this rhetoric. So when you bring them stuff from history, then they play victim. So I was just trying to get an understanding from these diehard Republicans, because right now you have farmers that might have to claim bankruptcy. You got somebody in Texas just committed suicide, you know, because he feels he's about to lose his job. And this is coming from the Republican Party that they voted for, but they're so quiet. So I just wanted to call in to ask this information, and maybe one of these diehard Republicans will call in and share their information, like with black people. They tell them, take your black ass back to Africa. But I have not heard them say anything about a diehard African that's more actually racist than them, and look at them as being bottom feeders.
All right.
I have not heard none of these diehard Republicans say that. So I was just called to ask that question, and maybe you can elaborate, but I'm going to hang up and listen.
All right.
Have a good day.
All right. You too there, Al.
I'm sorry I lied to you, Martin. I just didn't want to go to Arizona.
I'm sorry I lied to you, Martin. I just didn't want to go to Arizona.
So why I think they aren't telling Elon Musk to go back to Africa, and if Donald Trump is promoting, America first, then why do we have a South African national who has so much influence and power over Donald Trump and the federal government? Is because you can be from a foreign country and also do stuff for America. Like Einstein helped us invent the atom bomb. So we always will find people from other countries. Maximilius von Braun, he's a German Nazi that we brought him over here to help us start NASA. So there'll always be a foreigner that can help us with American interests. So there's that. And I don't think that conservatives are guilty at all. I don't think they're at all guilty about, what black people have gone through. And they don't take any responsibility for it. And quite honestly, should they? If they didn't, I see it from their perspective. Like, what is a white person right now that never owned slaves? Like, what do they owe me? Their bank account? Like, what do they owe me? Like, room and board? What do they, and I get it, they have some white privilege, but how am I supposed to extract that from them? Because even if I extract whatever white privilege they have and you turn it into a benefit for me, like money or something, they still have white privilege. And what does a white person give me to make up for the centuries of oppression to where the oppression goes away? You can give me a bunch of money. Oh, Sherwin, you are descended from slaves and you faced institutional and structural discrimination and racism. Here's $400,000. Cool, thank you. Is $400,000 going to stop the structural and systemic racism that exists right now? No, it won't. It'll just give me $400,000. Let's talk to, is this Carolyn, Rick, on line 3? Okay, let's talk to Carolyn. Carolyn, you're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
Hello, Mr. Sherwin. How you doing today?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Good. Just sitting here and been listening to you guys for the last 2 weeks. Y'all making me miss my church radio, but I have been just following all the stuff that's been going on with MPS. Mind you, I don't have any children in MPS, and I've been listening to your callers, and I just feel so very sad that it seemed like you guys at the Good Karma Station is working harder than these parents. Like, they know all this stuff because you guys are deciphering the information to them. What are they doing? Are they just still sitting at home? Are they not going to the board meetings? Are they not going up to the school?
No.
What is
They're not. And also, they don't listen to us. I think that's the misnomer, because we're oftentimes talking to people who are already informed. The people that need the information do not listen to talk radio. They just don't. They never have.
I know they got to read something online about that. I mean, you can't just send your kid out of the house and not know that something is wrong. This is almost like crazy to me because, like I said last week when I was talking to Tori, I said my ex-husband used to go to MPS, and he talked about some of the same issues that you guys are talking about now, and that man is 71 years old. That's a problem. It's like, what is it? I hear the callers asking, what do we do and stuff. And in my mind, the only thing that's going to fix this is that those parents, they got to get off their behinds and get up to that school district and get involved. And everybody keep on saying they can't do nothing. Yes, they can.
They have to first be informed. And what I'm saying is I'm not just blaming. Yes, the parents, of course, have some blame that they can take, and the kids got some blame too. But also, we're letting white teachers and administrators off the hook because they don't want to engage with our parents. I assure you, Carolyn, there's some school districts in the state of Wisconsin, probably in Milwaukee County, where if a teacher is very concerned about a child or if a teacher wants to provide information to a family, that teacher will go to that parent's house. That ain't happening here.
You're right.
They will go and say, hey, Mrs. So-and-so, I want to let you know I've got your son in my math class. Here's what's going on. I wanted to tell you directly because I'm a teacher, and I am paid to care about your child, and I am paid to share this information with you as well. They're not doing that here. So, yes, some parents can take some blame. The kids can take some blame. But we cannot let people that don't live in our community, don't shop in our community, and are scared to even drive through our community, let them off the hook because they're not providing the services to our families and our community like they would if they taught in New Berlin.
And you are correct and stuff. And then, too, on the side of these teachers not doing what they're doing, I hate to say this and stuff, but my generation came up trying to be friends with their children, smoking weed with them. They can go out there, they can drink at home, that kind of mess. And now those children are now parents, and they suck at it and stuff. So they don't go up to the school. They don't get involved. They don't do anything. And so for them not having the information, Sherwin, that is on them. Because as a parent, I was always up to the school district. I didn't wait for nobody to send me no letter because I knew I had black children, and I wanted them to succeed. So I did the role reversal. I was in the teachers' them face. I was at the PTA meeting. I did not wait for the school or the news or something like that to tell me what's going on in my school district. I knew because I attended those school district meetings. I went to the PTA stuff because I was like, my little black children are not going to be out here like I see so many of these little black children and stuff. They're not going to be wearing saggy pants. They're not going to get pregnant as teenagers. They're going to finish high school. Now, whatever they do after high school, that's on them because they've grown. So a lot of it is on the parents because my mother had 11 kids. She did not have to go up to school, but she asked us when we came home, what happened, what did you guys do, blah, blah, blah. We knew, go to school, behave yourself. Because if the school ever called to have my mama come up there, oh, trust me, it was going to be a problem.
Carolyn, what's the highest level of education that you completed?
I have a master's degree.
Of course you do.
And so
here's the difference. And I got to say this, and Carolyn, I got two other calls on hold, and I got to take a break. Because you have the level of education that you have, it allows you to be more intuitive when it comes to being more participatory in your child's education because you have an education yourself. If MPS continues to churn out children that can't read and can't do math, that means we're going to have another generation of parents who are not going to be involved with their child's education because they don't have an education themselves. Parents that have higher levels of education are always much more involved than parents that don't. You are one of the few because most of our parents, especially these young parents, they don't have master's degrees or higher. Like, you understand what education is, what it does, and how important it is. And so you are going to instill that in your children and be much more hands-on when it comes to your children's education. But if you got parents that never graduated, or if they did graduate, they can't even read the diploma that they got, they are less likely to be involved in their kids' education. So there was a period of time in which parents were holding their kids much more responsible, right? And education outcomes were better. Now, depends on the generation. But as MPS has churned out people with less and less reading ability and less reading comprehension, then you're going to get parents that act like this. Yo, this is not random. If you were does that make sense to y'all? If you were churning out kids that can't read, then those kids are going to be parents. They're going to be parents that can't read. They're not going to vote. They're not going to know how politics works. They're not going to know how their taxes work. They're not going to know how they can get involved. They're not going to have the skills to be able to research higher levels of education and better educational outcomes for their kids. Does that make sense to you? If you churn out children with low levels of education, you're going to create another generation of parents that also have low levels of education that are also going to repeat the cycle. They're doing it on purpose, is what I'm trying to get folks to understand. If you lower the standards, Jill Underly, you are guaranteeing we're going to have another generation of detached parents, because if they didn't get anything from their lackluster education with Jill Underly lowering the damn standards, then we're going to get another generation of this. And Carolyn is right. She said her husband or whoever she was talking to, 71 years old, is talking about the exact same things, a long time ago that we're talking about now. That is correct. Do you think that they want to churn out educated black people? Do you know what educated black people do? We take over stuff. We control stuff. We rule stuff. That is not in the best interest of whiteness. The best interest of whiteness is to keep black people under the thumb and ignorant and misinformed so white folks can get away with murder, literally. Now, once we realize that, we might be in better shape as a community. But until then, they still owe us a level of customer service because they're still taking our tax money. Meaning if teachers have got to be much more involved with and undereducated parents, then they have to, because you're taking their tax money, ain't you? The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
On Thursday night, the Milwaukee Panthers return home to host Horizon League Conference rival, the Oakland University Golden Grizzlies.
Eric steps through on a double team, scoop to score. 94 feet of EP offense. 6 seconds, McKee for 3. Hit it! It's a 1-point game.
Scott Warris has the coverage Thursday starting at 6:30 p.m. on 101.7 The Truth and the Milwaukee Panthers Sports Network from Learfield. Tip-off happens at 7 o'clock.
Adrian was seriously injured when a careless driver merged into her lane.
Gruber was there for everything that I needed. Any questions that I had, Gruber was there. They made me feel like everything about my situation and my accident was very important to them, and that made me feel good. And I would definitely call Gruber again for that.
Serving Wisconsin for over 35 years, Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
They go above and beyond for their clients.
Life's better with American Family Insurance, because whether it's a family road trip in your dream car or hosting a family reunion in your dream home, we help you feel protected so you can enjoy those dreams with peace of mind. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
People will tell you that race is a social construct and that there's no biological reality that distinguishes between a white individual and a black individual. So what does that mean if there are these quote-unquote disparities, right? It means that the way we move through a society is markedly different, right? And that the experience that we have has biological consequences. Is when you're in a society where people are constantly discriminating against a certain group, denying access, don't have control over the institutions that govern our lives, all of those things create a biological reality and a response, whether it's a stress hormone or a fear or something that could be passed on, what we call epigenetics, which means what my mother or my grandmother experienced had an effect on what formed me in my responses to those stressors. That's how we can be two individual people with very little difference, but have totally, vastly different experiences as we move through our reproductive health.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Martin, I just didn't want to go to Arizona.
I'm sorry I lied to you, Martin. I just didn't want to go to Arizona.
Our phone number, It's 833-212-1017. Sorry I lied to you, Martin. I just didn't want to go to Arizona. It's a classic episode of Martin. Let's talk to Norm's been holding forever. Norm, you're on 1017 The Truth. Thank you for holding. How are you?
What's up, my brother? How you doing?
Doing all right. What's going on?
Hey, those two schools that you named first, Chicago and Golda Meir, they're about 150-year-old buildings. They got to stay on buildings that old. You just got to stay on them because they're some old buildings. Anyway, bro, another one bites the dust, man. Speedway, what is it called? Speedway on Appleton and Hampton. They going out of business. They selling everything for $1 and $2.
You lying?
Boy, it's gonna be like a ghost. It's gonna be a ghost town here. Peace, brother.
All right. I kind of wish Norm wouldn't have said that on the air because now all y'all gonna go to the Speedway. I know exactly what that is. I used to go to that gas station all the time. All right, I got one more thing I want to read here. Number 5, parents do not want their children to stay in Milwaukee. So the title of the show, what do we title this show? Rick, Milwaukee Sucks. Did we change the title? Milwaukee, it's something like that. Milwaukee Sucks, right? What do we call it?
You wanted to name it Milwaukee Sucks.
All right, did we name it that?
Yes.
All right. This is why I titled the show Milwaukee Sucks. Unfortunately, you had to listen to 2 hours and 26 minutes of my show to get the title. That's what you call burying the lead. Number 5, parents do not want their children to stay in Milwaukee. Only 32% wanted their children to settle down in Milwaukee someday, and only 20% more hope for Milwaukee County. But black and low-earning parents were especially skeptical. It does no good for our region if we produce talent that buys a plane ticket out the first chance they get. Better schools will keep our families here. And this article that I've been quoting for the last hour and some change was penned by Quentin Claiborne. He is with the Institute for Responsible Government, and it appears in the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. I totally understand it. Why some parents do not want, black parents and low-income parents don't want their children to stay in Milwaukee because those parents might be low income because of the lack of investment that they got with the tax dollars that they and their parents paid. And you may not want your children to stay and invest their tax dollars in a place that does not invest that money smartly and wisely into the children and the families and the communities that need it most. That's why people move. Why do folks go to greener pastures? Because the investments in infrastructure, they don't have lead pipes in some of these outlying communities. The parks are cleaner. When it snows, the snow is removed faster. The garbage is picked up on time. I'll be honest with you. I don't know when my recycling gets picked up, so I'm forced to throw my recycling in the garbage. Don't look at me like that. Don't judge me. I'm the victim here. There are other communities that you can move to where they do return the tax dollars back to the people in the form of good investments. It could be schools, it could be parks, it could be other amenities, it could be infrastructure, etc. And here's what's crazy. Some of those places even charge less money for taxes, and they still have the ability to invest more back into the communities, back into infrastructure, and back into education. So I get it. Why a black parent or a low-income parent may not want their children to settle down in Milwaukee, because that black parent or that low-income parent, sometimes they're both black and low-income, they see the lack of investment in us, our neighborhoods, and our communities for what we pay. Remember, we are customers. We are paying taxes so that they can invest in services and amenities that make life livable and give us a decent quality of life. And if they're not doing that, why would you continue to stay here and invest your tax dollars when it's not coming back to you in a productive or meaningful way, especially when it harms your children and your children's education? And the best that we are getting is they're going to lower the standards now for reading. These kids already can't read. You know what I found out when I was chair of the Wisconsin State Elections Board many, many years ago? Because we just couldn't figure out why people are voting in such low numbers. Why is voter turnout so damn low? Literacy. I need you to think about this now. Think about it from their perspective. Why would I teach you how to read? You might vote. Why do they make referendum questions so damn complicated? People with college degrees have got to ask me to decipher a referendum question. if you were lowering the standards for reading and reading comprehension and reading proficiency, then you put these complicated ballot questions on the ballot and nobody's going to be able to read them. Therefore, the authors of those referenda that are trying to change the Constitution are always going to win. And we sit here and we're blaming the parents. Fair enough. You can take some responsibility on the parent. But if you get cancer, okay, it's your fault because you ate poorly and didn't exercise. You see what I mean? You still deserve to be cared for, even though you didn't exercise, you ate a bunch of fried food, you ate really unhealthy, you didn't get your fruits and the vegetables, and you didn't get the 30 grams of the fiber, you didn't eat the whole grain breads. You got cancer now. And I can sit here and say, when you go in for cancer treatment, well, you didn't eat very well, it's your fault. Well, parents, it's entirely your fault why your kids aren't doing well. Same thing, you got cancer? Oh, well, you should have ate better. Sorry, can't help you. I'm going to take your health insurance money, and I'm going to take it, but I'm not going to provide you the services like, cancer treatment. Ladies and gentlemen, ignorance in our community is a cancer. And here's the thing. There's a remedy for it. Information. And places that are beacons of information, schools are not just for the children that attend them. Schools are anchors in our communities, are they not? Schools sometimes have other events going on. They'll have workshops in schools. They'll have craft fairs in schools. Schools are places in the community because the community is funding the school. And so the school has an obligation. As sure as they take our money, they have an obligation to educate and be a beacon of hope for everybody who lives in that area. Let's talk to Enos. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I wanted to comment on you guys talking about parents and not being involved, with their child's education, being able to show up at the PTA meetings and things like that. Man, it's rough out here, man. It take two parents working full time just to make ends meet. So how do you find time to be involved in school when you barely trying to live and put food on the table and keep a roof over their head and some decent clothes on their back? And it's crazy to me the way this new administration is doing things. Like, for instance, I heard recently that Trump gave a directive to the Department of Justice Civil Rights Division that they were no longer to enforce civil rights cases that against black people and instead focus on civil rights cases against white folks. And I also agree that, they don't want black people to be educated because, to me, the evidence is in that for the past few years, there's been a constant drum against higher education. You hear these people talking about the elites, the people that go to these big prestigious schools, and they're talking against people that have education like it's a bad thing, But then too, a lot of people feel like having a college degree right now doesn't do too much for you. It doesn't help too much because there's a lot of people with college degrees that can't get a job with that degree. They're working in factories like myself. I have a bachelor's degree, and I can't find anything in my field of study. That's all I had to say.
All right, thank you. Appreciate your call. He's right on a lot of his points. They have started to discourage people from getting a college education. Let me just do some real simple supply and demand. I could do a whole show on this. If a college education wasn't worth anything, why is it so goddamn expensive? Huh? If it wasn't worth anything, why do people go in debt forever to get one? They don't want you to get a college degree because they don't want you to be a critical thinker. They don't want you to be able to figure out and decipher what they are doing to you. Poor people and uneducated people are the easiest people to screw over because they don't know any better. And another thing that we can say about parental participation, a lot of times some of the the meetings that they have, they can have the most severe impact on the public. When do they have these meetings? Y'all know when they have them. 9 in the morning. Oh, we're having a committee hearing at 9:30, Sherwin. Tell your audience to show up. No, I'm not. Have the committee meeting on a Saturday afternoon or on a Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Well, no, that's not when we're going to have it. We're going to have it at 9:30 in the morning because that's most convenient for common council members. They're basically telling you, well, it's your fault, public, you're not getting involved. But they're going to have the meetings when working people are, working. Because if they don't work, we're going to call people lazy. So have the meetings when people are at work. That means you don't want public input. Mark Chambers does town hall meetings, like 7 of them. That's more than most of his colleagues combined. Because he knows that his constituents work. And he goes to them. He doesn't make them come to City Hall to meet with him. He goes right in the community. And if somebody requests another town hall meeting, he'll have another one. But you're paying his salary. You're paying his taxes. That is Mark Chambers, as one example, providing service to the people that are paying for that service. If a college degree wasn't worth anything, it would be free. Things that have no value, ladies and gentlemen, don't cost anything. They want to make college expensive. So if you get a degree, and here's the thing, you may not get a job in your field, but you go to a university to make you universal. I work in sociology. What the hell am I doing hosting talk radio? I was able to study things that I like and understand statistics and data and research. And that what I learned getting my sociology degree, I can apply to any damn thing that I do. Because there is no professional endeavor I can be involved in that does not involve facts, math, numbers, data, statistics, and how to understand, read, and decipher history. It doesn't even matter sometimes what you get your degree in. You can get your damn degree in liberal arts. If it teaches you how you learn, then you can put anybody anywhere in any job and they'll know how to learn it because you had to learn how to decipher how to pass your damn classes. They don't want you to go to school because they don't. Listen, all of Donald Trump's acolytes, highly educated. Hell, Donald Trump went to an Ivy League school. Ain't that crazy? He seems dumb. No, he ain't. Dude got elected president twice. Got impeached twice during his first term and figured out a way to manipulate enough, uneducated people so he could get his ass back in there again. By them saying education is not important, people like Donald Trump and Elon Musk get to do what they're doing right now and then tell you that it's good for you. My friend Makisha put a quote on Facebook. She said, "The forest is shrinking, but the axe convinced the trees to vote for it because the axe has a handle made of wood, just like the trees." Did y'all follow that? The forest is shrinking, but the axe convinced the trees to vote for it. And the axe said, "I'm like you because my handle is made of wood." Take a break, come back, and grab a couple more phone calls on the other side. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back shortly.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Thank you, Truth Nation. Because of your unwavering and incredible support, we are proud to announce that we are officially sold out for our first annual Truth Community Awards. We are so excited to celebrate excellence, passion, and the power of community with you on Friday, February 28th at Potawatomi Casino and Hotel. This will be an evening filled with entertainment, heartfelt stories, and celebrating our city with the 1017 The Truth team. Congratulations to the 10 award recipients we will honor that night. They are Dr. Tamika Johnson, Eric Shake James, Ebony Solly, Carvel Brooks, Chris Abele, Walter Stern, Latrice Harris, Melody Madden, Justin McCoy, and Minister Kevin Simmons. Thank you for all of your positive contributions to the city of Milwaukee and beyond. The Truth Community Awards is presented by Potawatomi Casino and Hotel. Visit paysbig.com. Sponsored by Community Advocates, where meeting basic needs inspires hope. And brought to you by the award-winning 1017 The Truth, Milwaukee Black Talk. It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Here is Ben Jammin with his truth.
Truth Nation and all the juicy jammers out there, can I be honest? Honest about what? Honest about me. Honest about following your dreams. Matthew 16, verse 26. What does it profit a man to gain the world but lose his soul? I didn't know what I was getting into when my mother birthed me. I never imagined walking out of a job would lead me here. Back in 2017, I was working third shift at a grocery store, hating it. I knew I had to make a change. One day I walked out. No plan, just a leap of faith. 2 months later, I got a job with V100, and it was on and popping. I met Wiz Khalifa, Jerry Springer, Ice Cube, and Charlamagne the God. But in 2020, everything changed. COVID hit, and I was furloughed. But it gave me clarity. Clarity on who I was, who my real friends were, and what I truly wanted. After 8 months, I got an opportunity with 101.7 The Truth. I got the chance to speak on air, and things took off. I started as a producer, and now I'm the host of Jamming with Juice. I've spoken with the White House, NBA All-Stars, and even killed an unreleased track with one of your favorite rappers. Through it all, I remained vulnerable with you, Truth Nation, especially after losing my dad. But here's the truth. It's not just about following your dreams. It's about preparing for them. What you want to happen is going to happen. But if you're not ready for it, you have to watch it pass you by. As a great prophet once said, you only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. So if we're waiting for the divine timing of the George Floyd assassination, the time that I took for myself to become greater, or the vision of the CEO of our company, 101.7 The Truth, or myself wouldn't be here. So I'll call it divine timing. I can tell you to follow your dreams, but it's much better if you prepare for them.
This has been Truth Takes on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Listen to Jammin' with Juice with Ben Jammin and Carrie Noni weekdays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Sorry I lied to you, Martin. I just didn't want to go to Arizona.
I'm sorry I lied to you, Martin. I just didn't want to go to Arizona.
I don't care what you think, Ricky.
Yes, you do. You do care.
Not at all.
Yes, you do.
I don't care.
Yes.
In fact, you know what? Get drowned out by Karen White.
Sherwin, I could easily cut that off.
No, you don't know how to do that. You know how to cut off my music. No.
See?
Stop.
I know how to do all that. I run your show.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Hey. Look at me.
You're not the captain. I'm really the captain. I push the buttons to make it work.
Come here. Look at me. I'm the captain now.
You know what's crazy? I allow you to say that. See how that works?
Watch this. Hey, Millicent, how are you?
I am fine, Sherwin. How are you?
I'm good. Millicent, who is the captain?
Who is the captain? The captain would be me.
Huh? Wrong answer.
I'm the captain.
No, you're not.
Right answer. You made the right answer, the right choice.
See, I'm the customer.
You know what?
Isn't the customer always right?
Yes, but right now, I'm the
there
captain.
You go. Okay, that's why that ship is sinking.
Oh. All right. Say so.
I'm sorry. Hey, the gentleman that just called and he said that people don't have time to go to the meetings for their kids.
Yes.
How is that good? So is that just like saying I don't have time to do what is needed for my children, so then why did you have your children? Because see,
if I don't
have kids.
Let's look at it from a different perspective. Let's not look at it as what I don't know why some people had kids. Some people had kids on accident. Some women were sexually assaulted, couldn't afford an abortion. I don't know what the reason is. But if there is something that our elected officials do not want public input on, they'll have the meeting in the morning. And so what we'll do is the public official will be like, oh, well, we had the meeting at 9:30 in the morning and nobody showed up. And so what we do is we blame the people that actually have to work because they're going to get evicted because their homes will be foreclosed on because they won't be able to afford to buy food. That is what they do to keep us out of participating. But then we'll blame the people.
If that's the case,
who's going to take a day off of work to go to a common council?
Y'all had all day on Tuesday to go vote and didn't go vote. So, see, that's why I don't buy into what you're saying. Because if education was truly important, you might not make the meetings, but you would go vote. And PTA meetings is in the evening after school.
It's more than just going to, first of all, I don't even know if they even have PTA meetings. It's more than just going. And even if you go here, I'll give you another example. Even if you go to a school board meeting and you want to address your concerns, you know they'll cut you off, right? You know they'll tell you can't talk about that.
Yes.
Like that happens as well. So even when we tell people, hey, parents, get involved, and they do get involved, and then Marva Herndon cuts off people's microphones, then what? Then what's the excuse? Because now the parents are making good.
How many times does that happen?
Every meeting.
The only time that happens is when we have an uproar and then everybody shows up because something happened. But other than that, there's nobody at the school board meeting.
If you go to a restaurant and they mess your food up, shouldn't you be in an uproar when people are paying their taxes and they want to voice their concern that they're not getting the service that they are paying for? And so this is like you go into Sizzler and they mess your order up, and then you get upset and they tell you to shut up. That's what is happening. But Milson, I gotta go though, because I gotta take a break and I got another phone call. Why everybody getting mad at me? Why everybody over here on my case? I'm over here trying to provide a valuable service.
Did you see that they canceling your favorite restaurant?
Which one is that?
Hooters.
Hooters sucks.
You like Hooters?
Hooters is garbage. No, it's not. Food isn't good. The wings are terrible. And if I want to see women scantily clad, I go to a shake joint. Ain't nobody trying to see them women wearing them orange shorts and pantyhose. I go to shake joint. And first of all, the part of my brain that's activated when I'm hungry is not the same part of my brain that's activated when I'm looking at women. So I don't even know how people eat chicken wings and then look up and see half-naked woman. It's one or the other for me. I can't do both. Like, how do you go to a strip club and eat? So that's like people that go to a strip club and play pool.
I mean, Atlanta has some of the best chicken wings and strippers that you can offer.
Because people in Atlanta are weird, and everybody in Atlanta is also gay. So I can see people going to strip clubs in Atlanta and not being interested in the girls and just going and getting the chicken. Atlanta's gay. The only city that's gayer than Atlanta is New Orleans. New Orleans is very gay. San Francisco ain't even as gay as New Orleans is. New Orleans.
San Francisco like the gayest.
It used to be. Well, now everywhere is gay. There were more out people in San Francisco, but now Chicago is gay too.
Everywhere is gay.
Chicago is gayer than Milwaukee is.
I mean, it's a lot of places that's gay now. Everybody living their truth.
That's where a lot of people decide to leave Chicago and go to Milwaukee because they think it's safer to be gay here. Nah, really. Just saying. So always question anybody you know that came from Chicago. You got to wonder why they came. I'm not being homophobic. I'm just saying.
You kind of are.
Got to get out of Chicago, go to Milwaukee, and just be gay in peace.
Gay people?
No. I'll fight a stud though.
Yo, what?
I'll fight a stud. I seen my buddy get into an argument with a stud over a heterosexual cisgender woman, and my buddy backed down. I was like, dude, she over here. The stud is treating you like a dude.
Do you think it's
show her equal fights, equal rights, huh?
Do you think that it's fair that studs get to get in on ladies' night for free before 11?
Yeah, they're not men.
But they portray men.
You know, that doesn't mean that they're men. Studs will turn back into feminine women real quick if they think they're about to get their asses kicked.
Okay, so
like, Sherwin, you can't do that. I'm a lady.
So a stud gets in for free Thursday.
You see, I got this beard. That don't mean I'm not a lady. You better open the door for me, Sherwin.
So is it equivalent and fair for you to talk to one?
For me to talk to a stud?
You said she a lady, right? Ladies' night, she get in free. She's still a lady. You just said it.
What am I talking to her about? Changing transmissions?
Oh, my God.
No, I'm not attracted to women that look like boys. Some people are. But because she's a lady don't mean... I'll talk to her like, hey, brother, what's going on, dog? You good? What it do? I'm not going to talk to her like romantically because I'm not attracted to that.
What it do?
But if she wants to talk about like postal mail delivery services and, you know, the state of the economy in Ukraine, well, then, yeah, I'll talk to a stud about that, but not about like sexual stuff. I got to take a break now, Rick. You should know that because you're apparently the captain now. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
The award-winning 1017 The Truth proudly celebrates Black excellence and the most monumental moments in our history. Tune in all month as we celebrate the voices, stories, and achievements that have shaped history and inspired the future. 1017 The Truth's celebration of Black History Month is sponsored by Milwaukee College Prep, College Bound, Character Strong, Educators Credit Union, Achieving More Together, the Freighter, and the Medical College of Wisconsin. Let's push ahead. And American Family Insurance. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly.
Are record energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? With limited incomes not keeping up with the lingering effects of inflation, you might be one of tens of thousands of Wisconsin residents who are struggling to survive in the blistering heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter. While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today and call 1-800-506-5596. That's 800-506-5596. Or visit www.kwwf.org.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
I'm very familiar with Gruber Law Offices because they're always out in the community.
Gruber Law Offices are known to be honest, hardworking.
They're always involved in our neighborhoods.
Gruber Law Offices make our community a better place.
They are the best. For nearly 40 years, Gruber Law Offices has helped people throughout Wisconsin. If you're injured, we're here to help. One call, that's all.
Wisconsin would not be the same without Gruber Law Offices.
I walk on the shoulders of giants who have come before me.
I am grateful for those who changed yesterday.
But I live in today.
And I pledge I will help shape tomorrow.
Milwaukee College Prep Scholars honor Black History Month not just during February, but each and every day they walk through the door, preparing for a better life for themselves and the world around them. Enroll your scholar at MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
That scene in Menace to Society where Kane pulls up in that drop top 5.0 on the Daytons and he talks, that's where he meets Eilena. This song will forever remind me of that. And essentially every barbecue in the 1990s, this song was going to be played. Calling all Black-owned business owners and entrepreneurs. Are you looking to share your story and grow your reach? We have teamed up with Associated Bank for our Black-owned business give back. Each quarter, 4 lucky business owners will win an opportunity to spotlight their brand and their journey on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. To sign up for your business spotlight interviews, visit blackbusinessgiveback.com. Let's rebuild our community's backbone through exposure on the truth. For official rules, head to blackbusinessgiveback.com. Associated Bank, member FDIC. Lisa, you're on 1017 The Truth. How are you?
Yes. I'm doing good, Sherwin. How are you?
Doing all right.
Good. I just wanted to comment to that young man. It's awfully funny how, people can make time to do it nasty, but they can't make time for nothing else. You need to make time for your children, most importantly. That means if you got to miss an hour or two, If you got to miss a day, you got to do what you got to do. Ain't that what they say? You got to do what you got to do.
How do we expect people that weren't parents? Let me just ask a critical question here. How do we expect people that were never taught how to parent to be good parents? How do we expect people that don't have any understanding of nutrition to have a good diet? How do we expect people that don't know anything about the benefits of cardiovascular? I'm just got to give the examples just to make it clear. So go ahead.
Well, because you got a generation, thousands of parents of TikTokers. They get everything off of TikTok or Google it. They don't have the fundamental idea of even reading. I mean, they read, they glance at things, but do they read? There's a difference in looking at things and reading. Or you just
tell me how that someone who doesn't know how to be a parent that also does not know how to read, how are they going to read about being a good parent?
Well, Sherwin, they first get to want to do it.
Let me do a better.
You got to want to do things.
All right, a better example. Someone that has an electrical issue in their house, their outlet isn't working, and they don't know anything about electricity. How are they? How they don't know anything about how to fix an electrical outlet. How are they supposed to fix the electrical outlet? If someone doesn't know anything about electricity and electrical outlets,
let me answer it, Sherwin.
Okay.
Let me answer.
Just want to make sure you understand the question.
Let me answer it. Okay, it's just the same thing when the heater or whatever. There's a book on the side of the heater that will give you directions on how to fix it.
What if they can't read?
If you don't want to do that, then you know what? I hope you got some money to come pay the electrician to come fix it.
Okay.
It's just that simple. And if you don't, you're just going to be without electricity.
So if you can't raise your children, you can have money to pay somebody else to raise your children. I think we call those nannies. But what if you can't read and you don't have money? Then how do you raise your children?
Sure. Okay, well, then how do you get around? How do you get about? You got to have.
No, we're talking about the children. We're not talking about how they get around, how they get about. How do they raise their children if they don't know how to raise a child and they can't pay somebody to raise their child and they can't read a book or read something on the internet on how to raise a child?
Well, nowadays these kids raise themselves. Unfortunately, that's what's going on wrong. That's what's
I got 13 seconds left of the show, Lisa.
So Sherwin, you're making, okay, yeah, that's just something you just can't do. I mean,
it's because you can't answer the question. If someone does not know how to do something, how then do we require them to do it and be good at it? I didn't even talk about Joy Reid today. Well, we'll talk about her tomorrow. Thank you guys for listening. Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace is up next.
As clutch of a player to ever play basketball.
It's Dame time on Season 4 of Behind the Bucks on Bucks Plus.
This year, I was like, I need to impose myself more on this team.
Explore Damian